I'm so happy. You know, I get to redeem myself, especially with that last interception and everything. I can't wait to play again.
Let's go! Unbelievable win here. What an unbelievable season.
Check, 1, 2.
Everybody knows Alabama's good, but when you stop and think, they've won 27 straight ball games. And the starting quarterback, as a starter, has won 21 straight. Then you throw in David Palmer, who I think can be as devastating an individual as there is in college football. That's a ton of momentum, Mike.
I agree, but what really makes this team great is that they lost 5 defensive starters to the NFL. 5 players playing in the NFL on Sundays, and still return what I think is the best cornerback in college football in Antonio Langham.
Straight up disrespect, I guess. He doesn't really think too much of me.
Antonio Langham, Adrian Carson, how are you, man?
I mean, everybody has their own style, and that's Tannehill's style to talk, wear the long hair and whatnot, but a guy has to prove himself on the field.
Are you here to make your mark for the national title?
We're determined. We're determined to be the best, and we're determined to lead the university knowing that we left a mark on the university like other guys in the past did.
In Quaker State history, it's Quaker State's new advanced high-tech formula motor oil. Superior wear protection plus superior heat and stress protection. New advanced formula Quaker State, formulated for today's high-tech engines.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car, weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need Prestone. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
99 years ago, we built our first Kelly Springfield tire. In that time, Americans invented TV. We fought in 2 world wars. We flew the first airplane and settled the West. We all had to start somewhere, and someone had to be first. Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company.
What a great scene here at Columbia, South Carolina, as the number 2 ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama comes calling against the Gamecocks of South Carolina. And a typical scene as far as the Southeastern Conference is concerned. A packed house, the 2001 theme by South Carolina. And Mike Gottfried, you have to say that if the Gamecocks were to pull this off tonight, this would be the biggest win in the history of this school with football.
Ron, they should be fired up. You have a team coming in here with a 27-game winning streak to the national champions. I don't know what else you could ask. You're playing at home. You should be fired up.
As far as Alabama is concerned, we know the great tradition. Last year, another national championship. And, Mike, probably the thing that is most interesting to observe is the fact that schools like that with the great tradition, they know how to win, and they learn again how to win so quickly. This is an extremely confident football team.
It's a confident team, and it's a focused team. I watched them practice last night, and very disciplined football team on Friday night. I expect them to play well.
Well, most folks might have thought that Alabama would drop off some simply because of those people that left and went into the pros. Let's go down to the field. Adrian Karsten has more on that. Adrian?
Well, Ron, tonight when the Alabama defense takes the field for the first time, we're going to see a defensive unit with a little bit different look. A defense of minus 5 guys who are now playing on Sundays. Remember John Copeland, Eric Curry, George Teague, all first-rounders. London Derek Oden went a little bit later, but even without those guys who are all now active in the NFL, Alabama is still only giving up 190 total yards per game.
Okay, Adrian. Mike, also number 2 for Alabama, David Palmer. I mentioned in the open, I think he is as devastating or can be as anybody in college football. As a former coach, either punting or on kickoffs, would you kick to him?
Under no circumstances would David Palmer receive a kickoff from me or a punt. I'm going to punt away from him, kickoff away from him. I don't want to give him an extra couple chances to put his hands on the football.
Well, your point is well taken. Gene Stallings on the sideline, his 4th season, 35-6. A winning percentage of almost 86%. And across the way for South Carolina in his 5th season, Sparky Woods, 22, 23-3. But this one tonight would go so far as his program and making them step to another plateau. This one is underway. comes to the near side, and Adams will watch it go out of bounds. So South Carolina will take it over at the 35-yard line. And let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Russell Athletic. For South Carolina on offense this evening, Brandon Bennett may not be a household name, but he averages over 100 yards per carry. The wide receivers, keep an eye for Toby Cates tonight. They'll try to get him really involved in the offense. Already has 9 receptions. And the mainstay up front is the center, Vincent Dinkins, number 73. He's from right here in Columbia. Bennett will take it out to the 41-yard line, and let's meet the starters on defense for the Alabama Crimson Tide. They will go from a 4-3 tonight. A little unusual, but they want more push. And one of the guys who does it well is Jeremy Nunley at that right defensive end spot. Everybody's all SEC preseason at linebacker, Lemansky Hall. And in the secondary, well, everybody's All-American. Antonio Langham, number 43 from Town Creek, Alabama. Again, he goes with Bennett. And the running play has the first down, and now a late flag comes into the pile. Jimmy Harper, the referee tonight.
Ron,
offensive holding.
It's important for South Carolina. Against Kentucky it was, and early in the year, Georgia and Arkansas. Brandon Bennett must have success on first down. They have to establish the run against South Carolina. They do not want to get second and longs like they're in right now with Steve Tannehill throwing against this great secondary of Alabama.
Well, we mentioned that Bennett may not be a household name as yet, but he is averaging over 100 yards a ball game. He's run well in those first 2 plays, but the penalty makes it a 2nd down and 9. Pressure, pass, underthrown. Good pressure up the middle that time by Albert Brown, the junior from Montgomery.
Ron, Shannon Brown, number 75, really had a good break off the ball. Steve Tannehill's going to have to change. I know it's only the 3rd play, but he's going to have to change his cadence because Shannon Brown was in the backfield immediately. So he had to be going on the cadence of Steve Tannehill.
3rd down. The line to make is out to the 45-yard line. Tip incomplete. That's Bridges that he wanted, and you saw when the ball bounced into the air, almost picked off, and now we get an opportunity to see if they are going to kick to Palmer.
Ron, they're into the short side, into the hash. What you want to do with punting the football now is you want to keep it into the hash and keep it pinned in the corner. Again, I'm telling you, I would not kick to the deuce, number 2.
Well, this is a good angle. In fact, this is where I'd like to look at it right here to see. I would be surprised if Alabama went after him. I think they'll probably try to come with a return to see if they can get Palmer loose. Yep, and that's what they're going to do. They got the return on. It's a good coverage kick, though. And he will signal for the fair catch and make it at the 25. So 39 yards on the kick, and a nice job by Simpson. And let's take a look at the Russell starting lineups for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Talk more about Barker in a moment. Sherman Williams. Sherman has all 4 games, 100 yards or better. The wide receiver, David Palmer. Any place you see him on the field, you better have at least a couple after him. And as far as up front, it is Toby Shields, number 61, as a college center. He is a very good one. Sherman Williams out to close to the 30-yard line. And here are the starters on defense for South Carolina. in their 3-4. David Turnipseed, number 91 out of Spartanburg. They'll get good push from him, particularly on the pass rush. As far as the linebackers are concerned, they're very physical on the outside, led by Ernest Dixon. He's 6'2", 250. And in the secondary, the man to watch is Frank Adams, a senior out of Gastonia. Very good run support, and they will need his talents against this running Alabama football team tonight. Sherman Williams again. Nothing at left guard, and he's going to be knocked down. And the man we were just talking about, David Turnipseed, is the man who was there to knock him down for a loss, and all of a sudden, Alabama with a third down situation.
Ron, Jay Barker, the quarterback, of course, has had fabulous statistics here at Alabama, winning games. Gene Stallings told me last night, never seen a quarterback improve as much in 1 year. He was concerned a little bit this week, Ron, that he didn't take a lot of snaps because of the abdomen pull.
Crowd coming to their feet. Third down and 6. Pressure on Barker, and he's going to be sacked at the 21-yard line. It is Dixon, number 40. And Pettiford, number 96 from the other side.
Ernest Dixon is so quick on the outside, you have to be able to block him with 2 people, a tackle and then a running back. You see number 40 just continue to work inside to get to Jay Barker, the quarterback.
This is Deal. Averages almost 43 yards a kick. And it's Toby Cates back in a single safety for the Gamecocks. Beautiful kick. Cates in the 27. And he will take it to the 39. So the defense did their job. Let's take a break.
You know, there's one thing that most sporting events have in common. When you see this R, the player's wearing a Russell Athletic NFL Pro Line jersey.
Hi, Warren. Hey, Joe.
Russell Athletic is also the official uniform supplier of Major League Baseball. They even outfit most major college and high school teams. In fact, Russell Athletic even makes great sweats and tees for the rest of us. Unfortunately, not everybody's gotten the word.
Russell Athletic. It's everything we make that makes our sweats and tees so great.
Buttery soft leather seats, designed to withstand 30-mile-an-hour rear impacts. An adjustable steering wheel wrapped in leather, mounted on an energy-absorbing column. And exotic wood trim, layered with aluminum to prevent splintering. Unlike some other cars, at Mercedes-Benz, luxury is more than a mere facade.
This year during the World Series, Budweiser will bring you the game within the game. The Budweiser World Series Classic. To play, go to your favorite store, look for this sign, and pick up an official game card. Then catch the Budweiser Classic play during each game of the World Series. Each one's worth $100,000. Who knows? You could make the greatest play of the series.
Nice catch.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, and performance are never optional. And by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural. Proud to be your Bud.
Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. So, a possession each and a stop each. And Mike, a ball game that is underway in the second quarter up in the great Commonwealth State. Kentucky is surprising Ole Miss 10-0.
That is a surprise. Ole Miss with a great run defense against the wishbone.
Counter Trey. Bennett will take it to the 43-yard line.
Ron, such a dominant defense by Alabama last year. When you look, 47 yards average a game rushing. This year, 129. But I think another key is 19 sacks in 1992 at this time. Last year, only 6 this year. So it's a defense that lost heavily in graduation, but still an outstanding defense.
Well, that's for sure. And this guy right here really anchors not just the secondary, but what a team leader, Antonio Liner. Bennett hit in the backfield. He's going to be knocked back by Michael Rogers, the junior from Laverne, Alabama. And all of a sudden, that running game that went well in the first series slowed down.
Ron, I spent some time today watching the Arkansas tape, and I'll tell you something. This young man, Michael Rogers, really impressed me as a hard tackler in the Arkansas game. You should have seen some of the tackles that he made, but he just really strips you and sets you up and takes you down.
So it's third down for South Carolina, and they need the football just across the 49.5-yard line. Tannehill, big pressure on him, gets it away, and it's complete. Pritchett will not have the first down, but he's close at the 47-yard line, and what a job just to catch the football as Brown was about to take the quarterback's head off.
Ron, Alabama doesn't pressure with linebackers. They use their front four. Here's number 76, Elbert Brown, on a line twist, but Steve Tannehill does a nice job always of trying to find the second and third receivers. Here he finds Stanley Pritchett, number 39, just short of a first down.
Again, we look at Marty Simpson. He got off a beautiful 39-yarder his first time. And what made it nice, if you're a special teams coach, you should look at David Palmer, is the fact the hang time is close to 5 seconds. Alabama's coming after this one. Another high coverage kick. Palmer with the fair catch at the 21. The kick is only 31 yards, but again, they deny him a return. We'll be right back.
Every time Mercedes-Benz introduces a new car, other car companies rush to follow. And when Mercedes-Benz introduces a whole class of new cars, others scramble to catch up. Now Mercedes-Benz is introducing the new E-Class, featuring the powerful E420 V8. Other car companies may find this one even harder to follow.
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Pick up these halogen headlights as low as $4.99. Napa antifreeze is just $1.99 after rebate. And this Napa power battery is only $29.99 after rebate. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Just northwest of Kalispell, Montana, there's a place where you can punch cattle instead of a time clock and discover what horsepower is really about. It's the Hargrave Cattle and Guest Ranch, where you can ride them and rope them like they used to. But if you go, you got to pull your own weight and pull out your Visa card. Because at Hargrave, they don't take the tin horns and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The offensive firepower of Nebraska explodes against the rugged defense of Oklahoma State. Live Thursday night on ESPN.
Steve Tannehill on the near sideline, obviously not calling his hairdresser.
Ron, you know, people might wonder where Bino Cook is tonight. He made that comment last week about the field at Penn State, got all the publicity, but he's taken a job in Pittsburgh as a lawn consultant to a lawn service group there.
I see.
He won't be back.
And that was Bino and me, huh?
That's right. You guys hit Joe Paterno. Now he's resodding his field.
Barker on the reverse out, thrown low, and he was lucky just to get it away. That was great pressure on the defense by Eric Brown, the senior out of Baltimore.
You just keep thinking, if you're an Alabama fan, sooner or later, number 2 is going to get his hands on that football. There's that Kentucky score, 10-0.
Penn State out big. Arizona goes out in front of John Robinson's USC team. That USC team, after being devastated by North Carolina in the opening game, seems to be coming together. They were very close to knocking off Penn State. Barker, good protection this time as a flag comes down, and his pass is complete out to the 31-yard line. Tony Johnson will be pushed out of bounds by Frank Adams.
Barker to Johnson, knocked out of bounds by Adams.
Offensive thing,
this cannot please Gene Stallings, because it means one thing. His offensive line is having a heck of a time keeping the pressure off by South Carolina.
They're having trouble with Ernest Dixon. He's so quick, and Jay Barker on 21-0 as a quarterback at Alabama. You see Joe Namath, Bart Starr, and my favorite Alabama quarterback, the Snake, Kenny Stabler.
Here's Barker. And why did the coaches like him, and why has he won so much? He continues to get better, but as a decision maker, he has always been excellent. But he's going to have to be very good here with a 2nd and 24. Dumped it off out to the 17-yard line. Flowers comes over to make the hit on Williams.
Mal Moore said, the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator, says he's improved making decisions, finding the second receiver. And Ron, the last time he lost a game was November 3rd, 1989. His high school lost 49-3 to Anniston High School in Alabama. He was a wishbone quarterback. He can be my quarterback anytime. That's Mal Moore with the headsets on.
3rd down. The line to make for the Crimson Tide, the 31.5. He's caught by Palmer, and they'll make the stop at the 25-yard line. That's where you got to have him. You don't want him going away from people in the flat. You want people behind him.
You want him inside where you can cup him inside, where you can keep leverage on David Palmer. Working against Tony Watkins, number 24. Just a curl route. Makes a move back to the football, but you see how conscious they are of David Palmer. Everybody breaks on him in the secondary.
Deal with the kick, not quite as good as the last one, and in fact it's going to take a South Carolina bounce, and they'll touch it dead at the 41. So the Gamecocks, after that 33-yard punt, again have very good field position. Well, Major League Baseball, it's not only the home stretch, we're down to the final day. San Francisco against Los Angeles, the pitching matchup, Torres against Kevin Gross, and the scores today, well, Atlanta won 10-1, and San Francisco won over LA to break the tie 5-3. It was knotted at 2 apiece. It seemed like forever, Michael. So 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Major League Baseball right here on ESPN. DeBoer, and what a great second effort. Mike, he came here because he wanted to play baseball. He's out of Omaha, Nebraska, which of course is where the home of the College World Series is, which this network has carried for a long, long time. But he came here because he wanted to play baseball as a very good catcher, but he is a hard-nosed football player.
He is an outstanding player. Good running back, also Ron, a very solid blocker from the fullback position.
Roll the pocket, pass knocked down and almost intercepted at number 11 Lemansky Hall, and Tannehill just threw that one too low. Let's go down to Adrian Karsten. Adrian.
Ron, just from back behind the South Carolina bench, where they were telling Tannehill, look, keep your confidence, don't get rattled, take time to think about what you're doing. But check this out. Behind the Alabama bench, Nunley points at me and looks into my eye and says, remember what I said. What he said was, it's hard to have respect for a guy who has no respect for himself. Pretty tough talk.
They do have a little war of words going on there. 3rd down, South Carolina. Corey Lotry jumps offside. You can see Harrison getting all over him.
Ron, Bill Oliver, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, coaches the secondary backs. They do the best job with the nickel package, bringing in the extra defensive back in college football. They adjust so well to every different scheme that they see. See if we can find him. Right here he is, right there in the middle. Bill Oliver used to coach at Clemson for Danny Ford.
So it's 3rd down after Lucci jumps offside, and the line to make is the 49. Complete. That'll be good for the 1st down as Toby Cates, the man we talked about. They want to get him the football more tonight. picks up the initial first down for South Carolina.
Ron, what Steve Tannehill does so well as a quarterback that he'll set up, but he has the ability to slide step either to the left or the right to find his open lane. Watch Steve Tannehill as he drops back. Now watch him slide over. He does such a good job of keeping his feet up under him and able to get some velocity on the football.
Brandon Bennett will take it down to the 43-yard line and then is covered up immediately. Will Brown, number 17, one of the first men to get there to make the hit. Brandon Bennett, a junior out of Taylors, South Carolina. Mike, he said in the interview session on Thursday that what excited him about this one, he wanted to prove to people around the country that he could play well against anybody, and particularly the good teams. DeBoer hit just as the ball is handed off, and he's going to be knocked down behind the line of scrimmage for the loss, and Lemansky Hall, one of the first men to get there.
Shannon Brown, again, number 75, is getting such a jump on the snap of the ball. The slow developing plays, like the little belly plays, Shannon Brown is in the backfield. They can't block him. Vincent Dinkins is having problems with him.
Once you get penetration, then things can go awry, and that's what happened then. It's third down, and they need the 38. Rolls the pocket, deep over the middle, tipped again, and almost picked off.
Eventually, if you keep playing with fire on third and long yardage, number 43, Antonio Langham's going to come up with one of those interceptions. You want to stay out of long yardage against the Alabama defense.
Everett Brown again, number 76, applying pressure. 2 for 2 for Palmer. 2 punts, 2 fair catches, and Simpson again. Every time he touches it, he averages over 16 yards, whether it's receiving or kick return. Good coverage kick. Very, very high. Runs away from it inside the 5. Did they get it? Yes, at the 1-foot line. Let's take a break. No score. 4:54 left first quarter.
This clothing store.
Carpets of Dalton has the floor coverings for your home in the latest styles, colors, and selections. It's the best value in home fashion. And with our newly remodeled showroom, you can make your decision easily, whether it's for your business or for your home. Our galleries are complete with every style, color, and some multicolors, and most are in inventory. It's carpet shopping made easy at Carpets of Dalton. For the best prices on the biggest selection of floor coverings, exit 135, under the big sign in Dalton, Georgia.
Hey kids, it's circus time again, and the circus is coming back to town with its caravan of wonder, laughter, and thrills. See tigers, elephants, clowns, trapeze artists, acrobats, beautiful ladies, handsome young muscle men, and a brassy circus band. All the sights, the sounds, as well as the appetizing smell of peanuts, popcorn, and cotton candy at the Alhambra Shrine Circus, October 7th through 10th. 7 big shows of the circus at Camp Jordan Arena in East Ridge. For ticket information...
The great race in the NL West comes down to one final day. The Giants take on the arch-rival Dodgers tomorrow afternoon at 4 Eastern, live on ESPN Major League Baseball.
NASCAR excitement on ESPN. It's the season's final short track race, and Rusty Wallace has been a dominant short track force all year. Watch the Tyson Holly Farms 400 tomorrow live on ESPN.
Marty Simpson, why is he smiling? That was a 45-yard punt, Mike, out of bounds, or they touch it dead at the 1 foot.
Well, you all hold it right here. Well, you always tell your defensive players, your headhunters, when somebody makes a fair catch, you run by him, get to the goal line, and get ready to try to keep the ball in play if he doesn't make the catch. And that's exactly how South Carolina plays this. and is able to down the ball on the on the 1 yard line. But Ron, sometimes players, when they see a fair catch, they'll pull up. You need to go by the person that's making the fair catch and get ready to play the ball like a shortstop.
The possessions for Alabama tonight, they've started at their own 25, 21, and now inside the 1. Straight ahead with the running play here, and Lynch will get a little breathing room. And let's go to Mike Tirico. Mike.
Ron, you gentlemen mentioned the Arizona Southern Cal score before. Let's show it to you. Dan White, the sophomore transfer from Penn State, to Troy Dickey, the senior. Got 1 foot in, good enough. For the score, thus far, SC 11 rushing yards.
You know, Mike, the interesting thing about Arizona is the fact that they didn't get offense early. They got the great defense. They're getting offense now.
Well, that game's probably over already with 7 points because they played such great defense.
Miles Aldridge, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, on the sideline a moment ago. He's got it at the 48-yard line. Kevin Lee, and just that quickly, he becomes so conscious of the Alabama run, play action, they put it on top.
Well, you're right. You're conscious also of where David Palmer is. Now Kevin Lee gives you a threat on the other side, number 37. But again, this is the winning ability of Jay Barker. He can't throw this ball any better. He's in good position here. The ball's right on the money to Kevin Lee. Ron Neely, number 3, on coverage. Perfect throw by Jay Barker.
43 yards in the pass play, and the Crimson Tide now just across their own 46. Williams gets by the tackler, and he will take it across midfield before being hit by Norman Green.
Sherman Williams is out of Mobile Blunt High School. Larry Kirksey, the running back coach, told me this. He said he hasn't had his best game yet. He's capable of having a 200-plus night. He's that good a running back.
Williams, 6 touchdowns this year. As we said, all 4 games over 100 yards. They fake the reverse, and he'll keep it. Has the first down, and is going to be knocked out of bounds at the 40. Watkins is there defensively.
When you have David Palmer again, David Palmer makes this play because you're going to pitch the ball to Sherman Williams. He's going to come around. You see his rushing there, and he faked the ball to David Palmer, but the linebacker stayed on David Palmer. You see what he's gained: 106 yards versus Tulane, 120 Vanderbilt, 148 Arkansas, and 104 against Louisiana Tech.
He's going to wind up with negative yardage here, and again, number 40, Ernest Dixon. Williams tonight, 5 carries, 15 yards.
Here's what I was talking about, Ron. Look at the fake to David Palmer, and everybody is inside. They get caught inside because of the threat of David Palmer. They know where the great ones are.
That's right.
They know where they line up.
Yeah, if you forget him one time, he's looking at you from the end zone. Under 2.5 to play opening quarter. Deep over the middle, and look at Palmer stretch out, but it's too tall, and it's good coverage as Tony Watkins, one of the first men who was right there close to him. And Tony is a big hitter, fine all-around player out of Rock Hill, South Carolina.
David Palmer, you always want to know where he's lined up. DB on him.
Flag comes down, and the play behind the line of scrimmage at the 45. And now let's see, I believe it was Dixon who came across.
David Palmer's not only a fine receiver, Ron. He knows he's got an inside run play. He's going to block on the outside. Gene Stallings has that worried look that you know you're in a football game. You don't want to keep a team like South Carolina around too long with this crowd.
The longer they stay, the better shot they have at you. Good job by the offensive line. Now it breaks down and it'll be tripped up at the 34-yard line. In fact, he got a good spot on that one, and it's going to be 4th down for the Crimson Tide.
And we saw their field goal kicker last night. He can hit them from long range.
Kanata Reed is the man who got him. Mike, looks like they're going to go with the punt. Yeah, Brian Deal. They're not going to take an opportunity on the long field goal try.
Going to try to pin him inside the 20.
Always have that opportunity of getting the block when the trajectory is low for the long one. Deal angles it for the near sideline, and yeah, he's going to get it inside the 10-yard line. That is a marvelous job at the 8-yard line. 27 yards in the kick, but now South Carolina with their worst field position.
And they've opened up every first down, running the football, trying to get Brandon Bennett. And now what Gene Stallings is saying, I'm going to turn it over to my defense. As you see the defense of South Carolina playing with a lot of confidence tonight. I had a Thursday game about 12 days ago when they played Kentucky. They're playing with a lot more confidence tonight.
Mike, credit to the Alabama offensive line. They did a much better job of protection on that series than they had on the first couple. Counter Trey again. A minute, you can hear the contact here.
Well, you talk about great defense. Here's the Roll Tide in the 90s with Gene Stallings. #1 in the nation in scoring defense, only giving up 10.1 per game. 1 in the nation in total defense, 240 yards a game. #1 pass defense. And #3 in rushing defense, which I think is the key. 96 yards a game they give up. Outstanding.
Sweep with Pritchett. He will take it across the 10-yard line. And let's go back and get an update from Mr. Tirico. Mike.
Mr. Franklin, last time we showed you the Penn State transfer, the quarterback for Arizona. Let's show you someone who's at Penn State. Keyjana Carter, over 100 yards early in the first half. 4 of them there on the touchdown. It's easy at Byrd Stadium right now for the Lions.
Well, Maryland defense has given up a lot of yards.
They have. A lot of people are going to give up yards to that fellow, though. Carter's really impressive. And that is the end of the first quarter. So let's take a break. South Carolina nothing and Alabama nothing.
There we were, a jillion miles outside of the hood. The bus got a flat, got no jack. Homie's got to cut his grass. What's up?
4.5. Here, 4.5. Here, down. 600. Sold.
The man's round sells, but he's got no beat.
Pardon me.
That was death. Huh? Yo, MC Cow Seller. Fresh.
What's the coldest place on Earth? The North Pole? The South Pole? No, it's your home the day your heating goes out.
I think we need help. Fast.
Ruud is ready to solve your heating problems with reliable Ruud products and straight answers. His job's not done until you're comfortable.
Home sweet home.
You can rely on it.
Rely on Ruud.
Take a close look at a Kelly Springfield tire. Beneath every computer-designed tread, every perfectly aligned belt, every smooth riding body, and time-tested lining, lies the first rubber tire that actually stayed on the wheel. From Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company.
There are lots of reasons to buy life insurance. Here are 2 great ones. I'm State Farm agent Mike Foley. As the Goff family has grown, so have their life insurance needs. That's why we get together for family insurance checkups. I make sure to explain all the options, then they decide on the plan that's right for them. Ask your State Farm agent for a family insurance checkup. It's a great way to learn about life.
Every time Mercedes-Benz introduces a new car, other car companies rush to follow. And when Mercedes-Benz introduces a whole class of new cars, others scramble to catch up. Now Mercedes-Benz is introducing the new E-Class, featuring the powerful E420 V8. Other car companies may find this one even harder to follow.
Oh, it's a marvelous night for football here in Columbia, South Carolina. No score. And Mike Gottfried, you might have said, nah, you're coming off the wall if you give it. At the end of the first quarter, only 3 first downs, 2 by Alabama and 2 by South Carolina. The defenses have
been a defensive game.
That's right, so far. Tannehill, pressure from the backside, zings it incomplete at the 21.
Now, Ron, you go back to decisions by coaches. Gene Stallings made a decision just a couple plays ago not to go for the long field goal. Even though we watched the kicker last night with great, he had a long range, but he decided to punted the football inside the 10. Now Alabama should get good field position with David Palmer returning the punt.
This will be the 4th punt. Simpson has done a very fine job so far. 2 fair catches and the one that was downed inside the 1-yard line.
Look out for number 2. You better get it high.
Another very high one. Good coverage kick. Palmer has to signal for the fair catch, and he makes it, but far and away the best field position for Alabama following the 41-yard kick, as the Crimson Tide will have it at the 48.
Right there, this quarter, Marty Simpson, number 19, the punter, has been the most valuable player because he's kept David Palmer from returning those kicks.
Pitch to Sherman Williams. Blockers in front, has 5. Oh my goodness, does he get tagged after he had the 5? He picked up 2 more and then almost got knocked into the cheap seats.
Well,
I said he's a big hitter, didn't I?
If he had any sinus problems, he got him cleared up right here, because Tony Watkins, as he bursts into the secondary, he never sees Tony Watkins come. He just knocks him, levels him. He brought a whole 193 pounds of Tony Watkins.
Kept the headgear in front, put it right in the heart. Straight ahead with the carry here, and they're close to the first down. Eric Sullivan, the nose tackle, is the man who makes the stop. And from where they have marked the football, I don't think he's going to have it, Mike. They're close, but not quite.
3rd down.
About a yard away.
So it's 3rd down. If you just joined us, we have just played the first minute of the 2nd quarter. Number 2 ranked Alabama, nothing. South Carolina, nothing. Lynch gets the handoff, slides to the outside. He'll have the Crimson Tide first down at the 40.
Aaron Lynch on the carry.
Stacey Evans, one of the first men off the bottom of the pile.
This is the area of the field where Alabama likes to screen and likes to run the reverse. Inside the 50-yard line, where they're right around the 40-yard line. Reverse to David Palmer, or the screen either David Palmer or Kevin Lee, number 37.
Jay Barker, not a lot of practice time this week because of the injury, but he is playing like an all-star tonight, and that one is dropped by Sherman Williams. To have the type of injury that he has, Mike, with the stomach muscle pulled, for instance, on that pass right there, he did not look any worse for the wear, but pass was dropped, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
Will cause him problems on the deep throw. The streak routes and anything on the outside routes, be a little tough for him to throw.
Big pressure up the middle. Started to throw it, gets it away now to Lynch, and he's going to be tackled at the 39-yard line, and that's a great job by Eric Brown.
This year, Ron, offensively, after 4 games, same as last year, they're a little better offensively. Scoring offense, 36.8, 93, 226 yards rushing, 220 pass offense. And Mal Moore said this. So last year, we played to our defense. This year, we want to try to carry our load a little bit more.
Now the South Carolina fan base coming to their feet. It's a third down, about 9.5. Zings it, has it complete at the 21-yard line. And how in the world Chad Key held on to the football, I don't know, but he did.
Concentration of a receiver. From the end zone, Jay Barker back to set up. Throws the ball on the money to Chad Key. Behind him a little bit, but the defensive player, Frank Adams, I think pinned the ball in there for Chad Key, right. Number 19. But good concentration by the sophomore receiver.
Good for 18 yards. 1st and 10, Crimson Tide. Lynch has 5, has 10, counted off down to the 9-yard line. Let's go back to Mike Tirico. Mike.
Ron, Arizona's Kerry Taylor caught a touchdown pass. That's Chuck Levy waiting for the punt from Southern Cal's John Stonehouse. Levy gets it at the 41. Poor tackling here. He's got one man to beat. Spinorama, see in the end zone. Arizona by 21, late second.
When you spot that many points to that defense, you go ahead and start loading up one of the wagons anyway.
You head for the bus because that game's over. After 7 points is over.
Sherman Williams gets a block and he scores.
Who set that up, Ron? David Palmer had a key block on that for Sherman Williams, number 20. Makes things happen. He didn't score the touchdown. As you see, Sparky Woods. Toss sweep. David Palmer pins his man inside. Starts the play for Sherman Williams.
Michael Proctor, 18 of 18 on extra points this year to attempt. And he knocks it downtown. 7-0. Alabama goes on top. Let's take a timeout. 11:37 left until halftime.
Why do people really like Toyota Paseo? Take this home lie detector test. I like Paseo because A, it's practical, has a driver's side airbag, or B, women dig it. A, it has 100 horsepower performance, or B, women dig it. A, Paseo starts under $11,800, or B, women dig it. Paseo, a very practical car from Toyota.
I have an MD from Harvard. I am board certified in cardiothoracic medicine. I have been awarded citations from 7 different medical boards. When someone goes into that chapel and they pray to God that their wife doesn't miscarry or that their daughter doesn't bleed to death, who do you think they're praying to? You ask me if I have a God complex? I am God.
Malice, rated R, at theaters now.
Delta Faucet has over 1,000 different styles of faucets to choose from.
Wait, just a sec.
So there's a Delta Faucet that's right for everyone's needs.
Oh, okay, I'll get the food, you get the water.
Delta, the way water is brought to life.
And don't forget to turn it off.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football is brought to you by Toyota, reminding you to always buckle up. Do it for those who love you.
Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten down on the sideline. And Mike, I think you have to give credit to the Alabama coaching staff again for patience, just what you were talking about a while ago, on not going for the field goal. And as a result, special teams, defense stopped special teams, and now they get 7 points.
You're right. Good field position by Alabama, and they made it pay.
Well, it's a very good thing that that one hit in the end zone, because that was yours. You take it. No, it's yours.
First down on the 20.
David Palmer, number 2, is going to get a key block, but what you want your corner to do is force the play inside. Watch David Palmer on Reggie Richardson. Reggie Richardson makes a mistake and goes inside. There's no help outside. And now Sherwin Williams, number 20, able to get in for the touchdown. Mistake and a good block by David Palmer.
Sandy Hill with a short drop, has it complete. That's Bridges. Corey is only a freshman from Madras, Georgia, 5'7", 162 pounds. But in watching him on the practice field and also in your game against Kentucky, Mike, boy, you make a mistake on him and he could do the same thing that Palmer could do to you very quickly.
Well, he's the player in the Georgia game. The Georgia fumbled the football and they came right back with a post pattern to Corey Bridges and made Georgia pay with a touchdown.
Well, his first 2 receptions in college were for touchdowns, which is a rare number, probably not challenged by many. You see the pitch, and Bennett gets by the first defensive lineman and then will take it to the 27-yard line. And Sam Shade there to stop him. Sorry.
No, that's all right. It's my fault. You're better off, Ron, running at Alabama. When you run wide against them, they have so much foot quickness that they catch everything. You have to pound at them. You either stay off tackle, but anything that takes a long time wide, you're in trouble against this team. They run too well.
Well, your point is well taken. It was Kevin Moore, who's only a freshman, but he's 6'3", 245, who was very nearly making the play in the backfield. Flag comes down. Tannehill, good protection. Throws it complete at the 34-yard line.
Looked to me like a tackle or tight end was moving for South Carolina.
Boomer Foster, who has been injured, made the reception, but bring it back.
They weren't set, and that's a quarterback's job. He's going to make sure everybody's set before he calls the signals. Sparky's not looking too happy over there. He knows this ball club has played a good first quarter. He wants his offense to get some kind of drive going.
And you know, Mike, what you have to do right here, you have to maintain and do the things that you do best. Too many people try to change things against an Alabama because they're so much better, and you're getting away from what you do best.
And you're still in this game. 7-0,
exactly.
10-16 to go in the second quarter. Don't make a mistake here and give up a cheap 6 points and throw it to them.
3rd down and 8, but this is a very big one to keep Alabama from getting good field position again. He's going to go up on top. Not high percentage, but let's see if it works. Nope. Incomplete. Marty Means is the man that he wanted, and Monty maybe had a half step, but that's all. Tommy Johnson did a good job of coverage.
Good call. I mean, that was a good call by South Carolina. 3rd down. Try to go up on top, get the secondary off. Monty Means, number 80. Tommy Johnson, perfect defensive position. Good defensive play.
So again, Palmer gets an opportunity. Simpson's job, get it off and get it off high, and he did. This was not going to turn over, but the fair catch is called for and made at the 45. 33-yard punt. Crimson Tide leading right now.
State Farm presents the rules of the game.
We're talking about clipping. In this play, we have clipping behind the line of scrimmage. From where do we assess the penalty?
Today, a woman needs a life insurance plan of her own.
State Farm sells life insurance from an agent who's there for you today and there tomorrow, too. You see, we start you out right with a plan specifically designed for a woman's needs, one that protects the people who count on you for so very much. And a State Farm agent will be there tomorrow, too, as your life changes, to keep that plan working for the people you love.
State Farm sells life insurance.
We're talking about clipping. In this play, the offense is guilty of the foul. Penalize the offensive team 15 yards from the spot of the foul.
Rules of the game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When I hit 100,000 miles, I was driving home from a bat cave where I'd just seen 6 million bats.
I'd say it would be
when I hit 200,000 miles, I was on my way to a 100th birthday party.
Actually,
Okay, it happened right where the fence starts on the Lamont Bridge.
I don't remember the specific place I was at.
Where were you when your Toyota truck hit 100, 200, 300,000 miles or more? Tell us about it.
I never started really paying attention to mileage till it reached about 400,000.
The offensive firepower of Nebraska explodes against the rugged defense of Oklahoma State. Live Thursday night on ESPN.
Alabama leads in the second quarter, and our Toyota Leadership Award winners this week are from Alabama, Chris Donnelly. He's a senior from Germantown, Tennessee. He majors in communication, has a 2.6. Is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and participates in the Big Brothers Volunteer Organization and for Meals on Wheels. And from South Carolina, it's Rob DeBoer. He's a senior from Omaha, Nebraska. He majors in sports administration, has a 2.65 GPA, is a member of the South Carolina Outreach Program. He speaks regularly to hospital children, churches, and also civic groups. Toyota, proud to donate $1,000 to each school's General Scholarship Fund on behalf of these athletes, and our congratulations to them. Straight ahead. Tarrant Lynch will take it across midfield. Let's check once again with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Wow, this is going to shock some people. Pittsburgh first and goal at the 5 against Louisville at home, and Curtis Martin up the gut. 4-play, 81-yard touchdown drive at the point, and guess what? Pittsburgh is leading Louisville 7-6 as they work towards halftime.
Wow. Not a long time left in that one, but you got to get ready for everybody. Palmer on the reverse. He gets a block, and there's an open field in front of him. 40, 35, down the sideline, and finally pushed out of bounds by Frank Adams down at the 27-yard line.
Ron J. Barker, number 7. Got a key block on this to set the reverse up. David Palmer. Motion to the right side. Here's the pitch. Watch the flow. Now watch number 7, Jay Barker. Talk about the key block. The quarterback picks up the key block, and David Palmer is running downhill. Finally knocked out of bounds by Frank Adams, number 21. But Jay Barker does it all.
Jared Lynch bangs into his own man. Now here comes a flag, and it's thrown by the umpire, and it could well be offensive holding against the Crimson Tide from where that marker came. Jamal Pettiford is the man who made the stop. Let's see what Jimmy Harper says.
Holding.
It is
Offensive
holding.
line during the play. 10-yard penalty from the fall of foul.
Jack and Janet Fisher go to the magistrate's office under the northwest corner. Jack and Janet Fisher, magistrate's office under the northwest corner.
So Palmer comes back on the field. Mike, we notice 62 William Barger, senior out of Birmingham, is now operating at right guard, replacing John Stevenson, a junior from Memphis. We'll get a report on him from Adrian. Play action. A lot of running room on that left side. Then it closes up quickly, and he's down to the 25-yard line. Let's go down to Adrian Karsten.
Ron, there is an injury to John Stevenson. It's strained ligaments of the left knee, and the point is that he's an outstanding pass blocker that might make a difference later on in the game here. Now, a defensive adjustment for South Carolina. The coaches over there are really concerned about Palmer being in single-man coverage. Watch him, particularly when he goes in motion, for the defensive backs and linebackers for South Carolina to roll to the side in which he is motioning.
Everybody wants to know where that number 2 is on every play.
Draw play to Anderson, and Chris will take it down inside the 20 before Mike Landry will step up and make the hit on him. Mike starting tonight, replacing Aubrey Brooks at that right inside linebacking spot. Chris Anderson is shaking off an injury. He's one of the team captains for the Crimson Tide. Look at Kelvin Lee checking into life. Lee is one who kind of gets hidden in the fray, Mike. But number 37 is a very, very good football player for Alabama. Third down, and they need the 17. Chris Anderson not going to have the first down. He will be stopped short at around the 18.5-yard line.
What a good play by South Carolina. The linebackers, Mike Landry, number 84. Watch the front get penetration. Now the linebackers scraping down. Number 84, Mike Landry makes the play, forcing the field goal try.
Eric Sullivan, the nose tackle for South Carolina, is the man who is injured on the play and is down at the 20-yard line. Eric is a sophomore from Lawrence, South Carolina. He's a former linebacker. That's what he was recruited as, and they thought that he could gain a lot of weight and play that nose tackle spot and have the speed and versatility to do it, and he's done a good job against a very good center in Toby Shields tonight. Well, tomorrow the Winston Cup racing continues. The Tyson Holly Farms 400 from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina begins live at 1 p.m. Be sure and catch the $1 Million Man, Dale Earnhardt, who has earned more than that amount in grabbing the Winston Cup point lead this season. Tomorrow, Winston Cup, the Tyson Holly Farms 400 at 1 o'clock Eastern. Wilkesboro, North Carolina begins live at 1 p.m. Be sure and catch the $1 Million Man, Dale Earnhardt, who has earned more than that amount in grabbing the Winston Cup point lead this season. Tomorrow, Winston Cup, the Tyson Holly Farms 400 at 1 o'clock Eastern Time.
Will Dr. Jerry Punch and Beano Cook be there, Ron?
I'm sure they will. Field goal attempt from Michael Proctor. He's 5 of 8 this year. 36-yard attempt, plenty of distance, and it's wide left. So we'll take a break. 7-0, Alabama.
Cable TV, the most value for your money. And now there's Super Cable. Don't you hate it when there's something on one premium service like HBO, but that's not the premium service you have? Now with Super Cable, you can switch between the premium services once a month. HBO 1 month, Showtime the next, and so on. See all the movies and specials the premium services have to offer while paying for only one at a time. Plus, get up to $2 off the monthly premium charges. And Super Cable controls all TV and cable functions. On, off, volume control, mute, and favorite channel recall. Super Cable makes your TV watching a breeze with personal control codes, pay-per-view options. Super Cable offers you convenience, control, and choice. Only $3.95 per month and a $29.95 one-time installation fee. Call Sequatchie Valley Cable today at 942-6100. That's 942-6100 or 1-800-845-9937.
I really get a pump jumping out of balloons with bungee cords on or riding a motorcycle at 100 miles an hour with my head tucked over the handlebars, not being able to see anything. That is definitely an adrenaline high. Knowing that your life hangs this far between life and death. You know, you get those endorphins popping, that incredible feeling, that rush. Kind of like being on stage. It's definitely escapism. I never really experienced true Zen, but I'm hoping me and my Ducati will get there.
ESPN2, people who do.
Taking a look at the Gamecock defense in the near sideline. They got the fans going down there. It's a very pleasant evening, actually. The group that's got to get going is this group coming to the football right now. They've had the ball 5 times tonight, and Mike 4 times, 3 downs and out. South Carolina only has 1 first down in this football game. And let's go to Mike Tirico. Mike.
As we know, watching Game Day today, they are the Desert Swarm. Don't call them the Cactus Curtain. Rob Waldrop leads the swarm all over Rob Johnson. Hits him. Akeel Jackson picks it up, takes it to the 5. Troy Dickey takes it in. Arizona now 28-0.
John Robinson's seen a lot of good defenses in the pros, but he probably is wondering if he's seen a better one than he's seeing right now.
That's a good point. And SC has been playing improved football since that first ball game. Pressure from behind, hit. Did he hold on to the ball? Yes. But how, I don't know. At the 15-yard line as Will Brown came with the blitz from his backside, and boy, that's dangerous.
That's what I'm talking about. Impresses me so much about the Alabama defense. It doesn't matter whether they play a option team, a power running team, or a passing team. They adjust so well, and they come after you. And they come after you in a lot of different ways. Just very difficult to move the football against the secondary in the front 4.
3rd down, and they need the 30-yard line. Tannehill gets that one off underneath. Do we have a marker? Nope, not going to have enough for the first down as Pritchard caught the ball, and the way he came down, it almost looks as though he was tackled with a face mask.
Michael Rogers again, the linebacker, who does such a nice job tackling, makes the play, stops the first down attempt.
Marty Simpson averaging almost 38 yards a kick. And let's take a look at his coverage.
So far, he's been perfect. Punting the football, keeping it up high enough that his players can get under and forcing David Palmer to the fair catch. Doesn't want to slip up.
Got the pressure on this one. Another good high kick. Signals for the fair catch, and he makes it at the 41-yard line. 33 yards on the kick. But don't forget Major League Baseball, the Giants and the Dodgers tomorrow. Last day, well, maybe, depending on if it's tied or not, because they are now. Atlanta won today big. San Francisco came from behind to win 5-3. Torres against Gross in that matchup tomorrow. 4 o'clock Eastern time right here on ESPN.
That would be an exciting game on Monday night, right? At San Francisco?
Yeah. If they have a play. Our score 7-0. Alabama. Just under 5 minutes to play in his opening half. They can swing the pass. Williams. And still on his feet, and where they're going to get him forward progress. They'll say he picked up a couple, and Mike, that's going to be rushing yardage because that was a lateral away from the line of scrimmage. It was a pass, but it was a lateral.
Ron, Tony Watkins, the defensive back for South Carolina, is really having a good night, number 24. He looks like he's got his battery charged tonight because he's in on mostly every pass play. But he made the play on that against Sherman Williams. Very active out of the safety position.
Caught by Palmer, gets by one, and if he gets by another, there is a lot of room down the sideline. And let's go down again to Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, Eric Sullivan, that outstanding nose guard for South Carolina. Here he is sitting on the sidelines holding his right ribs. Big bruise from a big hit in that previous series. He probably won't play before the half. Now, if he can't go in the second half, that's key to South Carolina's success because Coach Woods told us that Shields-Sullivan matchup could play a part in winning or losing this game.
You're right on that, Adrian. That is a big matchup in this game.
Dixon jumped across and hit Tony Johnson, the tight end. Obviously, he thought he moved. Now let's see if the officials thought he moved. By the way, Mike, down on the sideline, John Stevenson, number 69, the big right guard for Alabama, has come back out of the locker room. And the trainer has got him going in a three-point stance, and they are checking him out to see how much mobility he has.
5-yard penalty. The tight end can move. The defensive man came up.
The call is against the Gamecocks, and as you can imagine here at home, that's not a very popular call.
Ron, this is a great down for the home run. First down inside the 50, play action, a chance to go downtown, and maybe even with Kevin Lee, number 37, or number 19, Chad Key.
Here's Palmer, this time in the slot to the left side.
Now they want to work him against linebackers and safeties.
But they're going to come with the run back to the short side of the field. Sherman Williams, well, momentum takes him out of bounds. It's a good push defensively from David Turnipseed. Turnipseed with good penetration that time.
Miles Aldridge, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, has to really feel good about the effort he's getting out of his defense. He made an interesting comment, which is really high praise for the Alabama football team. He said they play the same as the first play. They'll play the same way the last play. There's no slacking off in between.
2:55 left until halftime. Alabama 7-0. Pumps once, going to go long for Lee. Looked him away and knocked away. That is a nice. Now here comes a flagging against Norman Green.
Defensive pass interference, 15 yards, first down.
Barker looked him off to the left side as though he was going to Palmer, and then came back to the man you were just talking about, Kevin Lee.
Well, it's time to go for the home run for Alabama, and they tried it with Kevin Lee. Let's see if it is pass interference. Kevin Lee in pretty good position. Yeah, I think you have to call that. It's pretty good. Looked like pretty good coverage by Norman Green, but I believe he got his arm entangled with, see his right arm. That's what the call is.
Mike, I think more than anything, it's ball identification, and a poor job there. He was not looking back at the football. So Alabama calls a timeout, and will take it with them. 2:48 left until halftime.
Most trackers can follow the trail only as long as the weather holds out. Unless it's a tracker spurred on with genuine AC spark plugs. AC plugs fire faster than lightning for performance so smooth, even the thunder claps. And that'll keep your engine on the trail to a longer life.
AC Delco. It's like buying time.
So better track down some AC spark plugs.
You know, there's one thing that most sporting events have in common. When you see this R, the player's wearing a Russell Athletic NFL Pro Line jersey.
Hi, Warren. Hey, Joe.
Russell Athletic is also the official uniform supplier of Major League Baseball. They even have it in most major college and high school teams. In fact, Russell Athletic even makes great sweats and tees for the rest of us. Unfortunately, not everybody's gotten to work.
Russell Athletic. It's everything we make that makes our sweats and tees so great.
This year during the World Series, Budweiser will bring you the game within the game. The Budweiser World Series Classic. To play, go to your favorite store, look for this sign, and pick up an official game card. Then catch the Budweiser Classic play during each game of the World Series. Each one's worth $100,000. Who knows? You could make the greatest play of the series.
Nice catch.
Coach Lee Corso and Craig James join me for the Delta Faucet halftime report in a few minutes. Among the games, we'll be updating the route that is on at Byrd Stadium. Keyjana Carter and Penn State pouring it on. This the latest score, 36 yards, and the Maryland defense ringing up another big number. All the scores and highlights coming up at halftime.
All right, Mike, thanks. 7-0 our score here with just under 3 minutes to play.
Last time Alabama was in this area, they went to Terrence Lynch, number 45. Hit a little fullback belly up against South Carolina for good yardage.
Well, we'll keep an eye. Randy Wheeler, number 75 for South Carolina, has come in at nose tackle. Sullivan, we got the report a moment ago, injured ribs on that last series. Barker, heavy pressure, gets it off as a flag comes down. Lynch cuts it all the way across field and takes it down to the 11. Now, I'm wondering, did Barker...
Motion man turned up too soon, it looks like.
Palmer, I mean, yeah, he moved too quickly into the short side of the field. He had no place to go, either there or out of bounds.
Turned up field before the snap, 5-yard penalty.
You always have to tell your motion men, when they go in motion, look back at the ball. Don't expect to go on sound. You can't hear anything. Look back to the football.
Illegal procedure against Alabama.
Oh, well, we got to pause for a moment. Let's check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian, what do you have for us?
Ron, something's going on with Barker here. Watch him as he comes to the line. I am seeing him check off more at the line of scrimmage. I don't know, indecision, maybe a little more freedom, Coach.
No, what he does is he'll go up and check off the nose guard. You're right. He'll have a play and he'll check it at the line of scrimmage depending on where the nose guard's lined up.
Nothing doing for Williams this time as Eric Brown and Michael Landry, two of the first men to get there to make the hit on him, the two middle backers.
Chris Anderson.
Defense of South Carolina. Penetration. Mike Landry again, number 84. Run the move to move him in the starting linebackers paid dividends for Miles Aldridge.
He really has.
Screen here. Conscious of a screen to the South Carolina defense.
Total yards, Alabama 183, but they had but one score to show for it. Anderson in motion. And they throw the screen. He is the blocker this time, and Lynch All 225 pounds down the sideline, and he is very close to the first down as Norman Green came over to make the hit.
Good call by Mal Moore, keeping him off balance with the screen. See, Terrence Lynch just slips out to the flat, and when you're a defensive player and the fullback comes out and he doesn't try to block, it's a tip-off. He's on a screen. You need to retreat with him. Good call by Mal Moore, as you see right here with the headsets on.
Boy, if you're one of those 180-pound defensive backs and you see that guy at almost 230 full head of steam, you think, please, somebody else hit him first. They fake the reverse this time, and Anderson will be stopped after a gain of maybe 1. Again, it's Eric Brown, one of the middle linebackers.
They ran this early in the game for good yardage, but now South Carolina's wise to it. Not much of a fake by Sherman Williams or Chris Anderson, number 33. Miles Aldridge, I think he's done an outstanding job tonight keeping this Alabama offense in check. Good calls from the sideline for South Carolina.
Play action on second down. Lost it to the end zone. Had Palmer there, and he just missed him. That'll stop the clock with 44 seconds left until the halftime. One of the things that Miles Aldridge said day before yesterday, that with Sullivan being injured, he was worried about his 2 inside linebackers, and they thought that Sullivan could get a good push against Toby Shields, and now with him on the sideline, they're having to do a little patchwork, but you're right, it has worked so far.
Good play out of the linebackers. Your eye on number 19 here, Chad Key. Everybody's going to have their eye on number 2, David Palmer. Chad Key now becomes a possession-type receiver.
Pass is caught by Key, and he'll be knocked back at the 13-yard line.
Alabama moves David Palmer into the slot, trying to draw coverage. David Palmer's going to run a corner route. Chad Key's just going to come sit down. Very safe route for Alabama. David Palmer clears out. Chad Key's open. South Carolina, James Flowers, number 35, makes the tackle, sets up the field goal.
So the field goal attempt will come from 31 yards away. High pass, handled well, and the kick is good this time. And that is the end of the first half. With our score, Alabama 10 and South Carolina nothing. Stay tuned for the Delta Faucet halftime report.
We thought we'd been everywhere, seen everything. We were wrong.
We're back to the bone. We're back to the bone.
These guys were weird, and we liked it. Later, they took us to the Tower of Bud. Brother, tomorrow we ride again.
When life turns up the heat.
Can they start the wedding without me?
This shouldn't take long, honey.
Nothing protects you like Degree antiperspirant. It's body heat activated to release extra protection. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
This is a line. To some, it is seen as a barrier. To others, it's a point where traditions of the past are abandoned in favor of visions of the future. Introducing the revolutionary new Toyota Supra. It's taken everything sports cars were before and crossed the line.
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
This halftime report is presented by Delta Faucet Company. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Interesting thus far in Columbia. Alabama does have the lead. Welcome to halftime. Coach Corso, Craig James will join me momentarily. First, guys, let's get right to what's going on. A lot of games going on this evening, including Southern Cal at Arizona. Everyone said Arizona's defense has been terrific. This would be a step up for the Arizona defense as far as the quality of the opponent in Southern Cal. Defense, negative rushing yards per carry thus far this season, and the punishing defense continues. Unfortunate play here. Tony Baselli, one of the outstanding offensive linemen in the country, dislocates his patella. He obviously will not return today. Meanwhile, scoreless in the first, Dan White to Troy Dickey, 14-yard score, 7-0 Wildcats. The Arizona defense able to pour it on after that. White and Dickey also hooked up on a second touchdown pass. What a score. 28-0 right now at the break. Arizona keeping Southern Cal at least under 25 yards rushing in the first half. At Bird Stadium, it's getting ugly for Scott Milanovic in Maryland. Already down 16-0 to Penn State. Milanovic not looking. Center snaps it past him and through the end zone for a safety. 18-0. Then Keyjana Carter. What a first half he's having. This is third touchdown run on the evening. Maryland, which is giving up about 50 a game, it's given up 46 in the first half. 46-7. Penn State looking to make it 35-1-1 in this series. Maybe the surprise of the evening thus far, Pittsburgh is leading Louisville 7-6 at halftime. The Cardinals' offense has been flustered by the Pitt defense. Auburn now in the poll at 23, and Vandy all even at 7 in Music City as they play the second. Auburn yet to lose this season. Kentucky at Commonwealth Stadium beating Ole Miss. People thought Ole Miss may be the team to give Bama a run a little bit later on in the season. Right now, Kentucky leads early, but remember they led Florida early, and the Gators rallied to win that game. LSU at home. You'll see LSU Florida next week at this time on ESPN. Right now, Tigers, all they can handle with Utah State. Louisiana Tech against Arkansas State. Right now, 17-0 for La Tech, trying to get win 1 of the season. Arkansas State getting the first win of the John Bobo era last week. Southern Mississippi leading Southwestern Louisiana at Cajun Field. 2 1-2 teams going head-to-head. At Memorial Stadium, the Longhorns and Rice. A lot of points down in the Southwest Conference in the first quarter. Longhorns 0-2-1 on the year, looking for win 1. At the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Indiana on the road, looking to go to 4-1 after the disappointing loss to Wisconsin last week. Indiana leading by 10. Blowout city at the Meadowlands. It is 55-0. The Temple and the Maryland defense among 2 of the most porous units in the country, and the Scarlet Knights on to an easy win. Navy looking for 3 straight wins, and right now leading Tulane at the Superdome, 13-0. Navy 2-1 on the season. Hawaii after the 52-0 win over UTEP in the contiguous 48 and trailing New Mexico at University Stadium by 10. The game of the day as far as big names and marquee teams, Notre Dame at Stanford. Notre Dame lost last 365 days ago. That to Stanford. Lou Holtz trying to avenge that against Bill Walsh. The kick return game, one of the major stories in the Holtz era in South Bend. On the kickoff, it is Clint Johnson. Took it 6 yards deep, and all you can credit him for is 100 yards. They set up a terrific return left, and then the separation of Johnson as the kicker is not going to catch up with him. The 19th time in Holtz's tenure at South Bend that the Irish have returned to kick for a touchdown. Johnson also had another big return to set up a TD earlier. Notre Dame wins 48-20. Irish looks very strong right now at 5-0. Number 1, Florida State struggled early with Georgia Tech, and Charlie Ward kicked it in gear. Hooking up with Warwick Dunn, the freshman had 3 scores on the day. This is 3rd receiving touchdown of the year. Total offense, 582 to 110. Let's give some plaudits to the Seminole defense, shutting out Georgia Tech 51-0. Next facing Miami, where the Canes struggled for a while, as a matter of fact, with Frank Costa in at quarterback. Ryan Collins came in and sparked this team late 3rd. On the play action, rolls out and finds Jonathan Harris. A 27-yard score as Miami wins 30-7. Early word out of Las Vegas, the Seminoles, a 2 TD favorite in that neighborhood for the big game in Tallahassee a week from today. Florida at home, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field. A lot of kickoff returns today, folks. In the Swamp, Jack Jackson return left as well. See you later, Jack Jackson. Nice cut across the field here, and the Florida players, after their initial blocks, followed along. This put Florida up for good, 24-21. They go on to win 38-24. What a day for Danny Werfel. A school record 449 yards in the losing effort. Todd Jordan, 416 passing yards for Mississippi State. Oklahoma at Jack Trice Field taking on Iowa State. Cale Gundy would break Jamel Holloway's total offense record at the school. 6-yard touchdown run here. As Chris said earlier, the quietest unbeaten team in the country. Oklahoma continues to roll, handing Iowa State its 4th loss of the season. Earlier on ESPN at the Big House, it was Michigan and Tyrone Wheatley. He had run one in earlier. Watch the move right there. The cut back up the middle of the field. Mr. Six going to the end zone for one more. 48 yards on this one. Wheatley had 3 touchdowns on the day. Michigan's defense 5 sacks in the 17-point win. North Carolina struggled mightily with UTEP, a team shut out by Hawaii, as I mentioned, by 52. Leon Johnson, 2-yard touchdown run. Bad luck for the Miners. Bracy Walker gets the fumble recovery here and is going to rumble with it. 36 yards. It set up a third-quarter touchdown. UTEP did lead most of the first half, but Leon Johnson helps the Tar Heels pull away. He had 4 touchdowns on the day, 106 yards in all. UTEP had a 21-7 lead. They did come back and score late, but it wasn't enough. North Carolina wins 45-39. As we continue next on the Delta Faucet halftime report, we'll go to the Big East, where there were a couple upsets, including Syracuse looking to get on track at home against Boston College. At the break in Columbia, behind Sherman Williams, great balance. The Tide leads by 10.
Morning. Okay, hold on.
Delta Faucet has over 1,000 different styles of faucets to choose from.
Wait, just a sec.
So there's a Delta Faucet that's right for everyone's needs.
Oh, okay, I'll get the food, you get the water.
Delta, the way water is brought to life.
And don't forget to turn it off.
You know, there's one thing that most sporting events have in common. When you see this R, the player's wearing a Russell Athletic NFL Pro Line jersey.
Hi, Warren. Hey, Joe.
Russell Athletic is also the official uniform supplier of Major League Baseball. They even outfit most major college and high school teams. In fact, Russell Athletic even makes great sweats and tees for the rest of us. Unfortunately, not everybody's gotten to work.
Russell Athletic. It's everything we make that makes our sweats and tees so great.
Announcing the biggest advance in Quaker State history. It's Quaker State's new advanced high-tech formula motor oil. Superior protection against wear. Superior protection against heat and stress. Superior cleaning power. New advanced Quaker State motor oil. It's formulated for today's high-tech engines. And now, announcing the biggest rebate in Quaker State history. Get a $4.20 cashback rebate to try new advanced high-tech formula Quaker State.
The Delta Faucet halftime report continues in the Big East. Boston College had never won in the Carrier Dome, going up there to play an overrated and very porous defensive Syracuse team, 33-29 late. Marvin Graves looking to pass the deflection and the interception as Syracuse had made a 4th and 13 to get in position to go in. Boston College just ran through the Orange defense in the second half. For the first time in school history, Syracuse scored 29 points and lost. Story of the day. Cal down 30-0 with the second best comeback in NCAA Division 1A history. 2 teams had come back from down 31. Cal does it to beat Oregon 42-41. In Knoxville on homecoming, Tennessee rolls easily. Heath Schuler, 226 yards, and you see just 1 interception to go with the 4 TDs. A&M all over Texas Tech. Rodney Thomas, 108 yards on the ground. Worst start for the Spartans of San Jose State since 1923. Washington wins at home. Virginia adds Ohio another loss. That is 14 straight losses, longest streak in Division 1A. In Morgantown, West Virginia benefited by a late field goal miss. Virginia Tech loses by 1. North Carolina State picked off last play of the game by Tim Jones. Clemson wins by 6. More scores, including Cowboy Johnson, 322 yards rushing as Northern Illinois wins by 30. At halftime, Tide rolling by 10.
Have you seen it? The all-new 1994 Honda Accord from Economy Honda. Softer lines and rounded corners, dual airbags, side impact protection, more horsepower and better fuel mileage. The great Accord has just gotten better. And the really incredible thing is, Economy Honda's making special introductory offers on every one of the new 94 Accords. Get to Economy Honda. You don't have to go to Dalton. The best prices on carpet and floor covering are at End of the Roll, behind the Rossville Post Office. End of the Roll is the area's only stocking dealer with over $300,000 of inventory on display. Save with End of the Roll wholesale prices every day. Over 100 different rolls of quality vinyl flooring are in stock now. End of the Roll is breaking the price barrier with major brand names at incredible wholesale prices. End of the Roll, right behind the Rossville Post Office.
And Coach Hayden Fry discussed the game plan.
College football is a great game, but how do you handle the pressures, Coach?
While you never lose sight of the record, your first responsibility must be to your players.
But can you balance all that and still win?
Success isn't always what's on the scoreboard. Sometimes it's what your players accomplish later in life.
Well, that's a good point. Let's not forget that college football is about both college and football.
Enjoy college football more than a game.
December 1992, excitement-filled Legion Field. Southeastern Conference teams are fighting for a berth in this year's championship game on December 4th. This is college football at its best, with all the color and pageantry. Tickets sold out last year, and they're going even faster this year. Call 1-800-SEC-GAME today. Be where the action is on December 4th.
Once again tonight, we've announced the Toyota Leadership Award winners. This award is voted by coaches and professors for excellence on and off the football field. Here with more on a past winner of this award, Bob Weldon, Vice President Marketing for Toyota Motor Sales.
Over the past 8 years, Toyota has honored over 384 dedicated athletes from 80 universities across the country. One such winner is Marshall Faulk, junior running back sensation from San Diego State. The only thing more impressive than number 28 is Marshall Faulk's other numbers. He's only the second college player ever to rush for over 3,000 yards his first 2 seasons. And his 161 yards a game average is third best in NCAA history. Marshall's story starts with these incredible numbers, but it certainly doesn't end there. One of 6 brothers, Marshall was born in 1973 and grew up in a housing project in New Orleans. He worked hard to become a great all-around football player in high school. In fact, he played so many positions well, it wasn't until San Diego State promised him a chance to play running back that he made his decision to become an Aztec. As a public administration major, Marshall carries a 3.1 grade point average into his junior year. Last year, Marshall was recognized by Toyota for his leadership both on and off the field. When Marshall isn't in the classroom or playing football, he donates his time to the community. Recently, he helped the American Cancer Society raise money with a special walkathon, and he also encourages the youth of San Diego to stay in school.
Visit your local library, stay in school.
It's very special to be recognized off the field because a lot of players get recognized for being on the field, for being a great player, for making great runs and making great plays, but too many do not get recognized for the things that they do off the field, because a lot of people do things off the field, and I am one of them, and just to get recognized feels great.
At Toyota, we recognize the importance of the hard work and dedication that players like Marshall put into being a leader. That's why through the leadership program, Toyota has donated over $500,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of both our weekly winners and Leader of the Year. At the end of the season, we will feature the 1993 Toyota Leader of the Year during the Liberty Bowl and Peach Bowl games. Toyota is proud of all of our young leaders and wishes them continued success.
You probably have a good idea of what to do with old tires. But when you need new ones, no matter what you drive, it's a good idea to go to Pep Boys. They'll help you choose from a huge selection: Michelin, Uniroyal, BF Goodrich, and Cornell, and have you on your way in under an hour with a low price guarantee. So for tires that'll give you a lot of miles and then some, come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
This year during the World Series, Budweiser will bring you the game within the game. The Budweiser World Series Classic. To play, go to your favorite store, look for this sign, and pick up an official game card. Then catch the Budweiser Classic play during each game of the World Series. Each one's worth $100,000. Who knows? You could make the greatest play of the series.
Nice catch.
For our company, for Mercedes-Benz, another step into globalization. At the end, we have a clear-cut result, and the clear-cut result is the best fit we found, and that is Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Baseball, San Francisco won today. Atlanta won today. They're tied with 1 day left. You'll see the Giants and Dodgers tomorrow on ESPN. Give me a thought on the day, Coach.
All right, first of all, you got to congratulate Chris Vargas, quarterback from Nevada, 538 yards and 7 touchdowns, leading candidate now for the Heisman. And also, Lou Holtz, who's 1-1 versus the genius. Nice going, Lou.
I'm going to put a fan on you. I tell you, watching Arizona and USC play in their football game, there's 2 gears. There's a fast speed, there's a low speed. Arizona's in the fast speed, and USC's in the receiving mode right now. This game is unbelievable. Arizona, I think, is better than any of us expected. Truly scoring offensively, the defense is pounding them.
They've handled the step up in talent. Chris Vargas for the Heisman?
Hey, who else?
Hey, he got it.
Better than Marvin Graves, I'll guarantee you.
He got Gino Torretta the Heisman last year. It's Gino Corso Torretta.
Talk about that later on the Scoreboard Show with Chris. At halftime, our score is 10-0, Alabama on top. Thanks for watching. Let's go back to Ron, Mike, and Adrian for the second half after this.
Who's watching cable advertising? Your target audience. Whatever the age, household income, education, or occupation, your target audience spends almost twice as long watching cable TV than they spend with all other media combined. And cable TV brings your commercial to life with sight, sound, and emotion, something other media simply cannot achieve. Create built-in acceptance and credibility for your product while pinpointing your specific demographic with the power of cable advertising. Cable advertising, it works.
Across the line values on GMC trucks. The GMC truck line is here now with $1,000 cash back on GMC Truck Safari and Jimmy. A great selection of Sonomas to choose from with $750 cash back. Check out GMC Truck Sierra, voted a Consumer's Digest Best Buy for 1993. Across the line values. Right now the selection is great, but if you wait, it could be all over. See your Super 7 GMC truck dealer now. Crown, Superior, Newton, Crawford, Moss, Heritage, and Sale. Across the line value.
A new set of academic standards will go into effect in 1995. To practice, play, or receive an athletic scholarship, freshmen will need a minimum grade point average in at least 13 core courses in high school and a minimum score on the SAT or ACT. Make it a point to talk to your coach or guidance counselor about these requirements. Prepare yourself now. It's never too early to hit the books.
This message provided by the NCAA.
The Alabama Crimson Tide 10-0, leading South Carolina at halftime. And Mike Gottfried, off the top of the telecast, we talked about the fact that 5 players went into the NFL off this Alabama football team, but yet in the first half defensively, they've held South Carolina to 1 first down. They replaced well.
They really have, and only given up 57 yards total offense. But, Ron, both teams offensively have really played it close to the vest in the first half. They're going to have to both open it up a little bit in the second half. But you look at the numbers, I think the key is total plays. Alabama 45 to only 22 for South Carolina. 10 first downs to 1. And another key is 11 rushing attempts for South Carolina, only 16 yards, 1.4 yards per carry. So South Carolina has not been able to run the football, put any pressure on the South Carolina.
Well, the numbers on Palmer. South Carolina has done a good job on him. Look at this, 36 total yards, 2 receptions, and he has had to fair catch the ball 5 times. He's been averaging 158 yards a ball game. So from that area, South Carolina has to be pleased.
Well, the punter's done a nice job. Now let's see if the place kicker can keep it, the kickoff man can keep it away from number 2.
Now to kick it straight away, and he'll get an opportunity. 1 yard deep. make it back to the 20-yard line. And let's go down and get an update from Adrian Karsten. Adrian.
Ron, I ran with the team out of the South Carolina locker room at halftime. Very quiet, yet very emotional. The only man doing the talking is senior linebacker number 40, Ernest Dixon. Basically gut checked Ron, coach. He said, what we do in the second half will make or break our season.
First of all, it's a mistake for Adrian to try to run out of the locker room, but Ernest Dixon is a team leader. He doesn't want to lose. He's played with great effort in the first half. Number 40.
Jay Barker with the pitch. Sherman Williams does turn the corner, and he'll wind up with a couple of yards.
Look at Alabama. They have had 0 success going to the right inside. 8 rushes for 37 yards to the left side of their offensive line. Outside to the left, where they just had some success with Sherman Williams, 4 rushes for 41 yards. 23 rushes, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Playing it close to the vest in the first half.
It's Toby Shields, the senior from Fairhope, out over the football, and they go with the big fullback, Terrence Lynch. And the junior from Town Creek will have the first down as he pounds it out to the 27-yard line. That's Dixon, who is on the bottom of the stack. I think probably if Gene Stallings were to draw up a drive that he'd like to have happen right now, probably about 12 straight runs, not one pass, eat up 7 minutes, and score a touchdown.
He's looking at number 40, Ernest Dixon. They need a turnover. They need to force Alabama, which Alabama doesn't give you turnovers. They need number 40 to make something happen.
And the throw on first down. Pumps it, going to go up on top, and it is caught by Anderson. Kevin Lee, I beg your pardon. Kevin Lee, the senior from Mobile.
Jay Barker checked that off at the line of scrimmage. Saw the blitz coming. Made the check. You see the running backs. Sherman Williams almost didn't get set in time. Good blocking inside. Here's the pass to Kevin Lee, number 37. Well thrown football. Frank Adams trying to defend. Jay Barker throws a nice long ball.
He really does, and the pump right there glued everybody just long enough, and particularly Adams, that he got the step. Williams to the 41. It's Mike Landry, who we mentioned in the first half was a starter replacing Aubrey Brooks, and has played a very good football game.
They've really had some success running the sweep. Alabama, I wouldn't be surprised if they fake the sweep and come off with a naked, with Jay Barker faking the sweep, come to this side and try to find his tight end or a wide receiver coming across.
Palmer and Lee come to the near side. And Sherman Williams gets the pitch, and that is a nice job by Pettiford. Number 96, a senior out of High Point, North Carolina.
Can't fault the defensive effort by South Carolina. Jamal Pettiford, number 96, 6'1", 240, a senior. A good, solid play.
Ten to nothing. Alabama leads. They break the huddle. It is a third down on the line to make just inside the Gamecock 35. Gets it away and has the first down. And again, he goes to Chad Key, who is in key situations. He's right there.
Key the key. But what Mal Moore talked about with Jay Barker, where he's improved, he's able to make the second decision this year. He's looking to the right side. Now he starts to run, but look how quick he decides to throw the ball to Chad Key. Those decisions are much better this year, according to Mal Moore, the offensive coordinator.
Look at these numbers. 10 of 14, 140 yards, an average of 14 yards per completion. And flags come from everywhere.
Dead ball start, moving offensive line.
Mike, is it my imagination, or it seems like every week we're seeing more illegal procedure calls than I can remember in the past. Now, I don't know why. Are they, just coincidence with loud crowds or what?
I think the loud crowd here tonight affects Alabama more than would affect South Carolina, because when South Carolina has the ball, they're quiet. But when Alabama has the ball, they perk it up, and you have some linemen moving.
Lynch in motion.
Halfback pass.
And decides to take it with him. Williams stopped at around the 34-yard line, and there's a marker back over across the way along the line of scrimmage. Palmer smiling. Was he open?
I think he came open late.
Illegal motion, offense.
From behind the line of scrimmage, here's the pitch by Jay Barker. Sherman Williams starts to come outside, now looks downfield, feels a little pressure. David Palmer faking the block, now taking off. Looks like he's open. Ran right by the safety, Tony Watkins. Just needed to let that develop a little bit more. Sherman Williams got outside too quickly.
That's what, if you're Miles Aldridge, when your heart jumps up in your throat when you see he's running laterally and all of a sudden grabs the laces on the football, and you know he's going to throw. Drops the football, and South Carolina has recovered at the 43. Either Landry or Dixon got on it.
Talked about turnovers. Both teams didn't commit any in the first half. Key turnover here for now for South Carolina offense now. See Jay Barker setting up. He just drops the football. Number 40, Ernest Dixon.
And it's Robert Smith, Mike 44, who came in and made that recovery. So let's see if South Carolina can take advantage of a rare Alabama mistake. Tannehill pumps it once, going to go on top, but he had him for a moment, and now is going to be caught as he throws the ball low.
Miles Aldridge, defensive coordinator. Ernest Dixon. Adrian Carson talked about how he wanted to come out in the second half and make a statement. Alabama's doing a good job disguising in the secondary. Steve Tannehill thought he had something, and all of a sudden, just before the snap of the ball, Alabama moved to different coverage.
You look at Dixon a moment ago, you saw big Roosevelt Patterson sitting with the offensive line in the near sideline. Tannehill drills it incomplete. Now it's going to be third down. Chris Alford is the man that he wanted. And all of a sudden, South Carolina with this great opportunity now with the third down and long. Alabama has an opportunity to get the replacements in that they want for the third and long situation.
Well, the tough thing about this, if you're Sparky Woods, is third down as you see the marker. Willie Gaston, number 22, now comes on the football field, so you have an extra defensive back in the ball game. And Alabama, again, good nickel package.
South Carolina 1 of 7 on third down conversions. Drills it, has it complete at the 42-yard line. Toby Cates, the junior from Inman, South Carolina. And now they say incomplete.
South Carolina did a nice job of picking up the blitz. This is man-to-man coverage. Toby Cates, number 12, against Antonio Langham. Let's see if he holds on. We got his back to us. No, ball popped out. I think it's a good call. Steve Tannehill, one-on-one man coverage. The blitz was picked up. I think the ball pops out. Good call by the official.
Palmer, will he get an opportunity here? Marty Simpson just simply hasn't allowed it so far. He's had great concentration. Another good coverage kick. Best of the night for him. Shows you what Palmer can do. He was hemmed up at the 12-yard line, and he will be tackled just across the 20. Take a timeout. 43 yards on that kick.
The average Grand Prix lasts but a few hours, unless it's a Grand Prix started with a genuine Delco Freedom battery. Delco's rated tops for taking the pole position in starting power and excelling in reserve capacity. Helps keep your engine in the race for a longer, more reliable life.
AC Delco.
It's like buying time.
Keep your car in the running for that extra lap with Delco batteries.
At BASF, we don't make the meal, we make it healthier. We don't make the lotion, we make it smoother. We don't make the dress, we make it brighter. We don't make the carpet, we make it tougher. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
For this guy, any deodorant will do, but these guys need Speed Stick, antiperspirant that gives 110%. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick, for movers and shakers, the #1, the only one.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football is brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, who remind you, friends know when to say when.
Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. 10-0. Alabama leads with 11:09 as you look at Steve Tannehill on the near sideline. And Mike, what an opportunity, and they did not take advantage of it. And he had a couple of, he threw too late on that first down pass, and then the last one he threw off his back foot and threw a bad pass.
He's not a technique quarterback. He's a winner for you, but he's not the traditional quarterback who's going to go back here technique-wise and throw the ball perfectly. He makes things happen after the snap of the ball, and he improvises very well.
Injured player Roosevelt Patterson, and let's go down to Adrian Karsten.
Ron, coaches are talking to Steve Tannehill exactly about the thing you and Coach are talking about, telling him not to lose a concentration. Same thing they brought up early in the first quarter. There has been some concern about his lack of mechanics and keeping his concentration. Coaches are in his ear about that right now.
Well, on the first down, you remember we mentioned it, the receiver did break open and he didn't get the pass away, but on the last one, on the third down throw, he was so bad off his back foot that the ball was wobbling and going low, and that's a tough pass to catch.
Something that you can't fail to remember is he's only a sophomore. He's a young quarterback. Sparky Woods gave him the chance last year to start, and he brought his team to a successful year at the end of the year last year, and he's opened up this year with some good ball games, but he's only a sophomore.
Oh, Roosevelt Patterson being helped off the field, so now Alabama has lost their first 2 starters on the right side of the line. John Stevenson injured a knee. He had to go out. Barger came in replacing him, and now Patterson comes to the bench. And look and see that Joey Harville, a junior out of Moulton, Alabama, 6'5", 285, a junior, comes in replacing Roosevelt Patterson. We'll try to get a report. Swings it out in the screen and just a little too far in front. Karen Lynch had the blockers in front, and Jay Barker led him just a tad too much.
Ron, when Alabama hired Gene Stallings, and when he came into this program, he set his philosophy, and you can see it happening tonight. First of all, great defense. And that's what won him the national championship. Second, great kicking game. They haven't made any mistakes in the kicking game. And 3, protect the ball on offense. They had 1 turnover tonight.
Line to make the 31. Blitz up the middle, got it away, and he made the catch. I don't know how, but Kevin Lee, with the defensive back not looking back at the ball, and it's a 1st and 10 Alabama.
You look for receivers that can adjust to the football. Kevin Lee adjusted to this football. Was able to come inside the defensive back, Frank Adams, but watch him adjust to the ball. Ball's thrown on the line. Watch him come inside, cradle the football, and make the catch.
Mike, that's a couple of times tonight that poor ball recognition on the part of South Carolina defensive backs cost them receptions or knockaways.
You're right. And how would you like to be Kevin Lee? You're always going to be open because you're always going to draw one-on-one coverage, because on the other side they have to double David Palmer.
That's right. That one's overthrown. Malone was the man that he wanted. Todrick, a sophomore out of Atala, Alabama.
Intended for Todrick Malone.
Kevin Lee, what a night he's had. 3 for 94 to back up your point. When you're looking one direction, number 37 comes from the other direction. And he has a world of talent himself.
See him raising his hand. He wants to make sure when he comes into the huddle that somebody who is playing his position knows he's coming in.
.10-14 left third quarter. Alabama 10-0. In play action, pressure is on and sacked by Stacey Evans.
I think Alabama's starting to miss their offensive linemen, the substitutes that are coming in. South Carolina's getting a good push by their defensive linemen. Second sack. Jay Barker with a play action fake. Not much of a fake. You just see the pressure coming from the backside. Stacey Evans, number 93, makes the tackle.
Harville's one of the replacement guys. He's replacing Patterson, and he did a really good job against Ernest Dixon. Let's go down and get an injury update from Adrian. Adrian, what do you have?
Yeah, Ron, the injury to Patterson. He rolled over on his left ankle. He may be lost, only temporary. Decision on him is series to series.
Well, Adrian, Jay Barker looked up. Clock was running down, and he wants a timeout, so we'll take it with him. 10-0, Crimson Tide.
You'd be so nice to come home to. You'd be so nice by the fire. You'd be so nice. You'd be paradise to come home to.
Introducing Business Saver. Free faxes, movie, fitness center, and free local calls. And most Hiltons proudly offer AT&T long-distance service. Business Saver.
Double header. I'm hungry. That goes double for me. McDonald's? I'm the double. Double cheeseburger? Double, so maybe even double triples. What was that? Double take we just passed from McDonald's. Well, I'll double back.
Thanks to McDonald's Double Plays, you can get 2 double cheeseburgers for $2, 2 triple cheeseburgers for $3, and a great deal on a triple cheeseburger extra value meal with Coke and fries.
We got the 2 double cheeseburgers for $2 and 2 triples for $3? I love the double cheese.
And you guys are double par.
Oh, boy.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
A safari rarely lasts longer than a few weeks, unless it's a safari maintained with genuine AC oil filters, because over hill, dale, and wadi, no other filter can track down, trap, and capture more dirt. So, AC oil filters keep your engine in the hunt for a longer life.
AC Delco. It's like buying time.
When it's a matter of survival, it's AC filters.
The offensive firepower of Nebraska explodes against the rugged defense of Oklahoma State. Live Thursday night on ESPN.
The top 10 selling automobiles.
10-0, Alabama leads.
Ron, if I was trying to defend Alabama right now, I'd be concerned 2 things. One, they just hang it up deep downfield for one of the 3 receivers, or the screen again. David Palmer's inside now, an inside receiver, so they have him against the safety now.
And they get the push with the pressure. Tipped, and wow, should have been intercepted as Reggie Richardson came up number 20. And oh, as he upsetted himself. It was Bruce Pender, 22, who should have had the pickoff. 4th down, Alabama will have to punt.
Jay Barker was trying to go to David Palmer, but David Palmer was tripped or fell down. Let's watch number 2. Beats the first man. There's the little collision with number 50. Ronnie Smith, the linebacker. David Palmer's pointing to pass interference, but he won't get the call.
Flag goes down as the punt is gotten away and now whistles.
We have a dead ball. Ball start. Offense.
Here's a second look. Jay Barker's looking for number 2 all the way. David Palmer, and you see him fall down. Brew Pender, number 22, with a golden opportunity, Ron, to change field position around.
Yeah, he had the opportunity. Toby Cates is back, and now movement by Alabama is going to be 5 more yards against the Crimson Tide. And right now, South Carolina has the special teams rattled just a little bit.
And all this means is you just keep bringing the crowd into the ball game. Listen to the crowd now as they're trying to get their football team in this ball game.
Poise under pressure. That's how you win championships. And one of the things that Alabama normally has an abundance of, and that's poise. Really good coverage kick as Cates will call for the fair catch and make it at the 31-yard line. 39 yards of the punt. And don't forget, Major League Baseball, well, tomorrow is it the last day. We're going to have a playoff on Monday in the National League. San Francisco Giants against the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's a game you will see tomorrow. Mike, what happened today? Well, Atlanta won 10-1. San Francisco won 5-3. They are still tied. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time, it is the Giants against the Dodgers.
They're going to try to get the ball back in Brandon Bennett's hands. They started the game with Brandon Bennett having some success. They need to try to get it back to him.
Tannehill going to be hit and sacked, and that play looked as though it was doomed from the very beginning as Jeremy Nunley came across to make the tackle, but couldn't tell where Steve wanted to go with that.
He didn't have any time. Took a long time on the fake. Took a long time on the fake here. Then as he moves to set up, there's just too much pressure inside. Just didn't get a chance to really get set. James Dexter, number 68, was beaten on his block. Need to get the ball to Bennett.
All-out blitz is on. Is that ball fumbled, or is it an incomplete pass? Incomplete, says referee Jimmy Harper.
All the Alabama players are taught when there's a fumble, point my way.
Jeremy Nunley again with the pressure.
Jeremy Nunley, number 73, just comes unblocked. Boy, I think that's a fumble. I think they may have got away with one here.
I think you may be right, Michael. 10-0 our scores. We have 8:21 left in this third quarter.
They have Steve Tannehill really nervous back there at the quarterback position.
South Carolina looking for their first down of the second half and their second of the ball game.
And Alabama's looking for their first interception.
Coming after Tannehill again. Zings it, and there it is, the interception. Sam Shade, and he will take it to the 29-yard line.
Ron, if you play against Alabama, you can't. Third and long yardage is very difficult against this defense because they do such a good job in coverage. And they're so good in the defensive backfield that 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, you almost got to run a draw, screen, dive, something. This is what Alabama's been waiting for all night. Number 31, Sam Shade with the interception. Now again, the South Carolina defense has to be called upon to try to hold Alabama out of the end zone.
Sam Shade, a junior from Birmingham. Williams takes a pretty good hit again. Sherman has been targeted several times tonight, but he pops right back up. Aubrey Brooks was the man.
In this graphic, Alabama's intercepted at least one pass in the last 13 games, 28 total. So when you play them, unless you're matching them talent for talent, which not a lot of people do, you run in passing downs and you throw on running downs.
Wanted to swing it out, but very wisely pulled it down and throws it to Palmer, and he is going to have the first down at the 14-yard line. And let's go to Mike Tirico. Mike?
Interception may be leading to a score there. Interception here does make a score. It hit off the receiver's foot for Pittsburgh, and Tom Cavallo takes it in for Louisville for the touchdown. Louisville has now taken the lead and extended to 22-7.
Okay, Mike. Wow. So now Louisville jumps back, and LSU being shocked right now by Utah State.
And this is not a bad Utah State team. I talked to some Utah coaches who fought it out with them in the first game. They said it's a pretty good Utah State football team.
17-13 in that game.
Steve Tannehill on the phone again. Just as Alabama just makes you uncomfortable if you're a quarterback. It's just I just keep talking about their secondary. I went to practice last year, and during the middle of the season at Alabama and watched Antonio Langham, and I've never seen a better athlete do drills than Antonio Langham. And I looked up, and there was about 5 guys just like him. And George Teague is #1 draft choice to the Green Bay Packers, and just unbelievable the athletes they have in the secondary.
Williams gets a block at the 5. He hurdles for 6.
You can't have turnovers against this football team. You just can't do it and be around to tell about it.
You get a good look at Sherman Williams as he comes off. Matthew Pine, number 87, is the man who was handling the long snaps. He's a tight end, but also handles the snaps for field goals and extra points. A good one. Kick is up, and it's perfect.
Remember what Miles Aldridge says. Alabama football team does not take any plays off. Watch number 20. You talk about feeling it in zone.
You know, used to be there wasn't much to do around these parts. One nag shy of a one-horse town, know what I mean? Well, times sure have changed.
Everybody's doing their favorite two-step at Cactus Moon, the world's largest dance floor. And now's your chance to dance on the racetrack. Experience the thrill of NASCAR. Win 3 days of fast-track driving school at the Cactus Moon. Must be 21 years old. Drawing to be held November 18th. Cactus Moon, Eastgate Mall, Chattanooga.
The most fun you can have with your boots on.
At Jasper Salvage and Surplus, you can be your own contractor. That's right. We're dedicated to helping you with all your hardware and home improvement needs. Jasper Salvage and Surplus carries a wide selection of plumbing supplies, PVC pipe, bathroom fixtures, and shower stalls. We also handle flooring, paneling, roofing, and lumber needs. So for a store with what you need at a price you'll like, come to Jasper Salvage and Surplus today. Highway 41, Main Street.
The great race in the NL West comes down to one final day. The Giants take on the arch-rival Dodgers tomorrow afternoon at 4 Eastern, live on ESPN Major League Baseball.
NASCAR excitement on ESPN. It's the season's final short-track race, and Rusty Wallace has been a dominant short-track force all year. Watch the Tyson Holly Farms 400 tomorrow live on ESPN.
17-0, Alabama leading over South Carolina. Mike, we just got a correction. LSU is leading Utah State 13-10. They gave them a touchdown that had not been scored. Second quarter.
I mean, somebody with a typewriter made a mistake.
This is coming down to Frank Adams from the 4.
You want to know why this is a touchdown? Watch this block first by the tight end on Ernest Dixon, number 40. Stop it right there. Number 60 now. The tackle's going to pull out. Joey Harbaugh, we just talked about him replacing someone in there. Watch his block. Watch him steal. Now hold it there. Number 45, the fullback, Terrence Lynch. He's going to get a key block. 3 key blocks, and then the airborne Sherman Williams for the touchdown.
Wanted the counter Trey, and Bennett going to be tripped up. And it seems like every time we look up at Jeremy Nunley, 73, has been in South Carolina's backfield. He tripped him up that time.
He was the tackle, defensive tackle back that has to carry a lot of the load. They lost some good players in Copeland and Curry last year, and Nunley's expected to be the guy to give him the pass rush and the force up inside.
Ripped the pass to Foster. Boomer couldn't hold on. It was very close range, and Michael Rogers is the man with the cover.
Alabama getting a little late in movement. Watch the pass rush. Steve Tannehill has time here, but again, Jeremy Nunley is pressuring. And Kelvin Moore, number 95, but now you're again total yards third quarter, -5 for South Carolina. You're talking about another interception possibility here, 3rd and long.
Still South Carolina, but only 1 first down in the ball game. There's Foster. Boomer puts a head down, and did he make it? No, he's about a half-yard shy of the first down as Michael Rogers tackles him.
There is as fine a tackler as I've seen in a while, Michael Rogers. When he tackles you, you're tackled.
Now the crowd is saying let's go for it, but they don't have to live with that decision when you don't make it.
They obviously aren't looking at the same defense I've been watching tonight.
Well, Marty Simpson and David Palmer. So far, Simpson has been the winner in this duel. 5 fair catches Palmer's had to make so far tonight. And the last return, he got almost a little impatient, caught it in traffic, and picked up 10 yards. Shipments with a fair catch, makes it on the run at the 40. So it's a 30-yard kick, but again, there's no return. And the Tide will have it in a very good field position. Sherman Williams, 15 carries, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns tonight. He has had 100+ in all 4 games that the Crimson Tide has played this year.
And they've had some great tailbacks at Alabama lately. Derek Glass at Savannah State.
Goes for a couple. Chris Rumpf, number 58, who is a junior from St. Matthews, South Carolina.
Anytime I see an Alabama game or watch them on TV, I mean, Bear Bryant was unbelievable. I was talking to Bino Cook on our ride, 3-hour ride back to Pittsburgh with him, and I asked him, I said, you can name 3 coaches, great coaches that you just come to mind that you think the greatest. Right away, Bear Bryant. And I think everybody feels that way about Bear Bryant. I know Gene Stallings has really talks a lot about Bear Bryant.
Williams, they missed the tackle, forced him out of bounds at the 46. Mike, let's look at these numbers right here as far as following the Bear. Perkins, then Curry, and of course now Stallings.
35-6, Gene Stallings, 1990 to 93, and he has brought this program. The Alabama fans. We were in here last night, Ron, and I mentioned to you, you've seen it in basketball, but about 200 fans were here last night when Alabama was working out, and every little thing they do, they clap for them.
Yeah. Barker pumps it, then delivers. Intercepted. Linebacker Eric Brown.
Sometimes you try to do too much.
It's only his 2nd interception of the year.
Eric Brown, number 48, is going to drop into his curl area and read the release of Jay Barker. Just sitting down the curl. Now he's reading the eyes all the way for the interception. Now it's time to go for the home run, Ron.
Bennett, and he's going to have 3, 4, close to 5. Down around the 41-yard line. Everett Brown is the last man off the stack.
2 turnovers. This one has to amount to some points for South Carolina. They expect to stay around with this Alabama football team. Pressure on the quarterback, Steve Tannehill. Wouldn't be a bad call now for a little screen out of South Carolina.
Bennett again. Can he get outside? Nope, but he cuts back inside. And this time a little over pursuit by the Crimson Tide. Nope, not going to be a first down. Almost cost them their 2nd first down of the night.
When I talked to Brandon Bennett, he said he kind of styles himself after Emmitt Smith. He said he likes the way Emmitt Smith breaks tackles when he plays. And he said, I'm that same kind of back.
Gene Stallings, in our meeting with him yesterday, paid Bennett some really high compliments. He said that he's as good as anybody in our league, certainly.
And he's following the blocks of Rob DeBoer, number 31.
Bennett again. Gets outside, turns it up, and there's your first down here. And listen to the crowd. It's the first down of the second half. It's only the second of the football game. That's how stingy Bama has been.
Key block by Rob DeBoer. But, Ron, I don't think you can run the football in here from the 40-yard line against Alabama. And your best time to throw is right now, first down. If you're going to throw and take a shot against this Alabama defense, it's on first down.
Trade. Bennett hit in the backfield and knocked down, and this time 75. Shannon Brown. Brown, Nunley, Elbert Brown, Will Brown.
A lot of Browns. You just can't run against this team on a steady diet. There's just no way. Shannon Brown, number 75, with penetration. Now you're second and long. Now the extra DBs are into the game, and those defensive linemen will pin their ears back now.
Make penetration that time by 4 different people. Hard to get a running play going when you give up that much penetration. There they swing the pass out, and Pritchett will take it to the 37-yard line. Michael Rogers again with another short tackle.
I don't know who your player of the game is going to be tonight, but mine's 52, because I like the way he plays defense and I like the way he tackles. And you get a chance for the linebacker against the back on the little flare pass, and how many times you see him juke him and miss him. You're not going to juke Michael Rogers. Really impressed with him tonight.
They're down. The line to make. The 22.5-yard line. Caught it, but short of the first down.
Looked like that ball came out.
Tannehill is down there, and he's signaling that it is enough for the first down. They're going to call timeout and give him the measurement.
That ball looked like it came out. It would be interesting if we have that. See how good Steve Tannehill's eyes are.
Well, his hair must have gotten in his eyes because it's short.
There's no doubt when you're trying to pull an upset of the number 2 team in the country, you're going for this.
This is where Tannehill steps forward, though. But this is what you were talking about. Let's see if he can get this offense going again here.
Straight ahead, give it the ball to Brandon Bennett, let him go over the top.
And he has the first down.
Brandon Bennett, you always tell your tailback about 1.5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, you take off. Good blocking, and we used to practice that when I was with Tony Mason. We used to put a net for like the long jumpers to let them dive, and then they felt comfortable doing it.
Into the third quarter, 17-0, but the Gamecocks are driving. We'll be right back.
Way back in 1947, cowboys designed Wrangler cowboy cut jeans to be comfortable in the saddle. Or out of it. Wrangler, the Western original.
A small touch, a certain look. It's the little things that are worth the most. Which is why every Delta faucet gives you more than you'd ever expect for the money. Giving you the money for those things you can't even put a value on. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Most trackers can follow the trail only as long as the weather holds out. Unless it's a tracker spurred on with genuine AC spark plugs. AC plugs fire faster than lightning for performance so smooth, even the thunder claps. And that'll keep your engine on the trail to a longer life.
AC Delco. It's like buying time.
So better track down some AC spark plugs.
Hi. Is this space taken?
No.
Then I'll sit down.
You want a Bud Light?
Not yet.
Hey, wait a minute. That's my Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
How about a little help here?
Go ahead. Make a wish. Then share it with your Allstate agent, who knows planning makes wishes come true, and who can outline a life insurance plan to assure family security and college funding and a comfy retirement are in the stars for you. So make your wish and trust it to your Allstate agent, who wants to be your agent for life.
Cowboys designed Wrangler cowboy cut jeans to be comfortable around the office, especially when your office is 40,000 acres. Wrangler, the Western original.
Alabama 17-0 as we head to this last 15 minutes of play. Mike, the numbers, total yardage in the ballgame. Alabama 312, South Carolina 86. Third quarter, Alabama had 110 yards to 29 for South Carolina, but two very big first downs for the Gamecocks.
I still believe, Ron, this is your best down to throw the football against these guys right here, now.
They go with the run, bit it up the middle. 5, past 10, he'll break it into the end zone. Touchdown, South Carolina. Mike, they are signaling for the offense to stay on the field as they will go for 2.
Good call by South Carolina, really well blocked.
Well, he showed what a burst of speed he has. Caught one person at the line of scrimmage going the wrong way, and he was through there.
Screen back to the tight end.
Going to throw back. Now over the middle. Incomplete. Pass was very, very low, and it's a tendency that Tannehill has when he throws off the wrong foot. Throws it very low. Tough pass to catch. And let's check in with Adrian Karsten.
Ron, that was not the play that Sparky Woods wanted run. Two players came in with the actual play. There was indecision, miscommunication on who was supposed to be in the game. I don't even think they lined up properly on the ball. That's why that play did not work.
Well, this was supposed to be, Adrian, as I look at it, it was going to be a screen to the tight end on the backside. But Alabama played it. Tight end on the backside. There's a screen, but it's not open, so Steve Tannehill adjusts and tries to force the ball inside, and it's knocked down. So a good job defensively by Alabama.
Jeremy Nunley with an outstanding game in this one tonight. They have just given up a touchdown. By the way, the 21-yard run for the touchdown by Bennett equaled the entire running total for the early part of the ball game up to now for South Carolina.
You know what happened on that play too, Ron? Steve Tannehill and the players were celebrating, and they were talking to the Alabama players, and the coaching staff wanted a two-point play, but everybody was kind of celebrating the touchdown, and they couldn't get it in fast enough.
Well, here's a guy that could cause another celebration in this stadium if he gets a chance to return, and he will from the 1. David Ball. Unbelievable. Out to the 35-yard line. Looked as though he'd be stopped at the 20. Don't forget, Major League Baseball, the Giants tomorrow against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And in case you just walked in the house and you say, well, hey, how did everybody come out today? They're still tied. Atlanta won today. San Francisco won today. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time, the Giants will take on the Dodgers. And, of course, they'll keep you up to date as to what happens with the Atlanta Braves coming down to the wire. Very good, tight race. Sherman Williams. Good spin move move will take him out across the 40 before Ernest Dixon steps up to make the hit.
Just think about Gene Stallings right now, what he must have told Mal Moore. I want to drive. I want to play tough, hard-nosed football here. I want to run the football. I want to get back and control this game, because that run by Brandon Bennett really has sparked the South Carolina team. Now Miles Aldridge needs a defensive effort, but I look for Alabama to get back and pound.
Loses the ball. South Carolina recovers. Makes the recovery.
Jeff Rousey, the linebacker coach, talking to Gene Stallings.
Bennett changes his mind, puts a head down, goes to the 41. He'll have 3.
You have to credit Brandon Bennett, because there's not a lot there. He's making the yardage because of his stutter step and then cutting up inside, because Alabama is really controlling the line of scrimmage, Ron. And this young man, Brandon Bennett, is making things happen.
Sherman Williams standing on the sideline, and I would imagine very upset at himself, but it's just it's going to happen when you play this game and when you're getting tagged the way he's been getting tagged tonight. This is DeBoer. Boy, did he get tagged at the line of scrimmage. Lemansky Hall, number 11, stepped up and really put a hit on him.
Uncharacteristic of Alabama tonight. Fumbled the ball 2 times, an interception. And that's why this ball game's 17-6. Now South Carolina on the other side has to take advantage of it. There's Sherman Williams would like another shot. Back on the field.
Coming into this game tonight, Alabama in their first 4 games had fumbled 8 times and had lost 4. So averaging 1 a game, but they've doubled that tonight. Here comes the blitz. All out. Tannehill running for his life. Can he get it to somebody? No. The receiver, oh, this is going to cause quite an argument. Toby Cates had been knocked to the ground by number 43 Langham, and he couldn't get up.
Man coverage all the way by Antonio Langham. Good pressure by Alabama on defense. Steve Tannehill, you see the linebackers coming. Michael Rogers, 52. Pressure inside. He does a nice job of getting out away from the pressure. But Toby Cates gets knocked down. Now let's see how there's Antonio Langham with him. He's down already.
But Mike, that's
like
got to be
big-time wrestling.
Got to be at least defensive holding, because he grabbed his jersey and threw him to the ground. That's what Cates was arguing about. But for nothing, because it's 4th down and they will kick it away. This one may bring the next rain to South Carolina. Palmer makes the catch at the 24-yard line. So we'll take a break. Turnover by Alabama, but it doesn't cost them. We'll be right back.
Just northwest of Kalispell, Montana, there's a place where you can punch cattle instead of a time clock and discover what horsepower is really about. It's the Hargrave Cattle and Guest Ranch, where you can ride them and rope them like they used to. But if you go, you got to pull your own weight and pull out your Visa card. Because at Hargrave, they don't take the tin horns and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car, weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need Presto. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
In the year 23,012 BC, Lenny, the traveling salesman, rented the first big round wheel from Thrifty at a nice small rate. Today, Thrifty Car Rentals still offers historically low rates and now on nice big cars with 4 wheels. Simply check your phone book for the Thrifty location nearest you. Renting wheels at low prices is nothing new to Thrifty. In fact, we invented it. Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Announcing the biggest advance in Quaker State history. It's Quaker State's new advanced high-tech formula motor oil. Superior wear protection plus superior heat and stress protection. New advanced formula Quaker State, formulated for today's high-tech engines.
17-6, our score with the 12:26 left in this ball game. And Mike, here's a final end of the Southeast Kentucky, 21-0 over Ole Miss. And that one really surprises me. Look at this after the last play. Brown and Tannehill.
Well, after the touchdown, Steve Tannehill went by about 3 Alabama players and was in their face. And so what you give, sometimes you receive. And the quarterback needs to get off to the sideline right away, get over there and find out what they need to do offensively.
They fake the reverse. Sherman Williams finally caught from behind at the 35-yard line.
And in his mind, when he was standing on the sideline after he fumbled, I'm sure he probably is thinking, you know, I get back in there, I'm going to make him pay for that fumble I had. Fake the reverse again, trying to make sure they know where David Palmer's coming. You see some of the players, defensive players, pulling off. But now, good burst by number 20, Sherman Williams.
Mike, for those wondering why the line of scrimmage started off that deep, there was a 15-yard unsportsmanlike call against Alabama. We did not hear the announcement. We're checking with the sideline to see exactly what the call was or why it was called.
Now they're back again with Sherman Williams just to pound the football at South Carolina, work on the clock. 11:46 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Smash mouth football by Gene Stallings' football team. It's what you can expect.
Take the time off the clock, even if you run the sweep, turn it upfield, go down before you hit the chalk. Jared Lynch will carry this one into the arms of Eric Sullivan, who is back in the ball game. And for the looks of Sullivan in the first half, surprised that he's back in the ball game, but glad he is. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Carson coming to you from Columbia, South Carolina. 17-6, the number 2 team in the nation, leading South Carolina.
Number 19, Chad Keys, back in the ball game, has made some key receptions.
He'll be sacked, 3rd sack of the evening, and Stacey Evans just got his 2nd.
Stacey Evans on the sack. 4th down.
South Carolina has got a good defensive effort out of their defensive football team tonight. Miles Aldridge with a blitz call on 3rd down. Stops Alabama. Stacey Evans, number 93, on the sack.
Ryan Deal. Oh, this is a beauty. Wow. Gets all the way back to the 7-yard line. Alabama with good coverage as they will make the tackle out at the 17-yard line. That is a 60-yard punt. So let's take a timeout.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
We have
You know how fast your business is changing. But do you know which airline is changing faster than any other? Building new terminals. Enriching its frequent flyer program. Forming a global alliance. Making so many improvements, it can truly be said, in the history of aviation, no other airline has made so many changes so fast. And all of it's for you.
2.5 hours with
their lights on, and Die Hard starts them all.
In 2 decades of demonstrations,
After 2 months in a frozen lake, the Die Hard starts.
you've seen the awesome starting power of the Die Hard battery. Now it's even tougher. Introducing the Die Hard Weather Handler, built to handle the extremes even better. Now get a great introductory price, only $49.99. You save $10 through October 2nd. America's #1 battery just got tougher.
The offensive firepower of Nebraska explodes against the rugged defense of Oklahoma State. Live Thursday night on ESPN.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Welcome back as they're trying to get the wave started here in Columbia, South Carolina. And Alabama leads it 17-6. Big roar went up during the halftime. As you look at the numbers on Steve Tannehill. Tannehill pumps it once, going to go long. Cates is there. Did he get it? Yes. At the 49-yard line.
Tannehill to Toby Cates.
31 yards.
First down pass call. Toby Cates, number 12, the outside receiver, working against Antonio Langham, number 43. Antonio Langham just stopped for a second and was beaten by Toby Cates, and a good throw by Steve Tannehill.
Lofts it long. Oh, my. First guy out to practice, and he underthrew him. Tannehill, Mike, he's not having a good night. He did not pick up that receiver. He was 6 yards behind the secondary.
The other thing that happens is Monty Means, number 80, stopped. You can't stop. They're working on Antonio Langham, and Steve Tannehill will come out of this thing. Now watch number 80. You don't stop. Keep going. Keep running. Move. Get going. Ball's underthrown, but the receiver cannot stop like that. And Steve Tannehill has to put some more air under the ball.
That's right. Let him run under it, particularly when he's that far behind everybody. 2nd and 10. That one's going to go incomplete. Point I was going to make just a while ago was a halftime score was given here at the stadium, and a huge roar went up. And we look around, it's because they were saying that Auburn was trailing Vanderbilt 10-7 at halftime. 12 months a year, they dislike each other, don't they?
I'll tell you, they really do. And living in Mobile, it's nice because you talk football, and my brother is the athletic director down there, said every day when I moved there, he said 365 days a year, there'll be something in the paper about football.
Oh, boy.
Look out.
Tannehill goes down back at the 40-yard line. Ozell Powell this time, a freshman from Greenville.
Backup defensive lineman Ozell Powell, 78, just from the snap. He's by number 68, James Dexter.
Tuck the ball away if you're going to get sacked. Catch is called for and is made at the 26. 34 yards in the punt. What are the standings? And let's take a look first at the SEC West. Bama 4-0, and of course Arkansas.
Danny Ford is doing a nice job at Arkansas. Big win over Georgia today. 2-1 in the conference.
Ole Miss got shocked tonight by Kentucky, then LSU, Mississippi State, and Auburn. And in the East,
Florida and Tennessee, that'll be a battle throughout the year.
Florida had to play from behind today. Mississippi State had a surprise for them. Good heavens, what a hit. I mean, Tony Watkins, that's twice tonight that he has come up and just annihilated the ball carrier.
When you're a running back and you leave your feet, this is the type of hit you can take because you don't have any power once you're up in the air. Watch him jump up in the air here. There's no power. He's the bunny rabbit when he's up in the air like that. Tony Watkins just knocks him off his feet. But I like Sherman Williams, what I see of him tonight. He's a good, hard, north-south runner.
He's obviously a tough kid because he's taken some big hits. We'll go with the fullback. The Terrence Lynch. Push back. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down. Let's go down and check in with Adrian Karsten again. Adrian?
Ron, I was right in front of that last hit. I'm telling you what. Sherman Williams, look at the left side of his helmet where his chin strap is. Helmet's busted. Right where the face mask is. Right below his number 20.
Well, good thing the new modern version rather than the things that they used to wear. 17-6 our score if you just joined us. Alabama leading South Carolina.
I got a feeling he's going to carry the ball again here.
They pitch it to him. Nothing there. Caught from behind, and that's a nice job by Robert Smith. Turnip Seed also hustling outside. He's had a very good ball game.
The Alabama's thinking on offense is, hey, we're not going to turn it over anymore. We're going to run the football, get some first downs, but unfortunately, they're not able to pick up the first downs. But as long as their defense is playing like they're playing, they'll just keep trading punts away and see what happens.
Brian Deald, and this time he's going to be kicking to Corey Bridges, a speedy freshman. And he may have a returnable ball. He does. Takes it back to the wide side of the field. Gets one block. And he ran about 40 yards and picked up one. 38 yards on that kick. So let's take a break. 6:21 left of the ball game. It's Alabama.
Across the line values on GMC trucks. The GMC truck line is here now with $1,000 cash back on GMC Truck Safari and Jimmy. A great selection of Sonomas to choose from with $750 cash back. Check out GMC Truck Sierra, voted a Consumer's Digest Best Buy for 1993. Across the line values. Right now the selection is great, but if you wait, it could be all over. See your Super 7 GMC truck dealer now. Crown, Superior, Newton, Crawford, Moss, Heritage, and Sale. Across the line values.
So, you've been out car shopping, running around town looking for what you want at a price you can afford. Now that you've shopped and are still coming up empty, try the best. Moss Motors. We're a tough act to follow, and once you buy from us, you'll find out why. Low prices, great selection, customer satisfaction. That's our #1 priority. Sounds like what you're looking for? Don't waste your time with all the rest. Come to Moss Motors today. We're a tough act to follow.
About football, I'll tell you with no time to waste, NFL Prime Monday is the place. 90 minutes of X's and O's from Theismann, James, Jaworski, and the rest of our pros. We've got roundtables with sports writers galore and Chris Mortensen with the story behind the score. We'll have live reports from the Monday night game and backstage with Julie Brown. She'll entertain. No matter who you are, no matter what you know, NFL Prime Monday. Back to your show.
NFL Prime Monday, 7:30 Eastern, only on ESPN.
Now the Alabama cheerleaders are inspired. Their ball club up 17-6, ranked #2 in the nation. And their defense tonight has been extremely intimidating at times. That defense had lost 5 people to the National Football League last year.
Both defenses, Ron, have played extremely well.
Yep, they have. Pressure up the middle. Pass is caught by Pritchett. Reversed his field and takes it out to the 43-yard line. Donnelly finally made a stop on him.
Nice throw by Steve Tannehill because he was under pressure again.
No huddle by South Carolina. The Alabama defense now realizing that they've got to deploy here. Tannehill's pass tipped and almost intercepted. Oh my goodness, Tommy Johnson was within a breath of having 6 more points. complete to Bennett this time. And Brandon hit by Sam Shade.
Talked about him being a good tackling team. Sam Shade, number 31, knew he was lined up with Brandon Bennett after the reception. Good, solid tackle.
109 yards now for Tannehill, 10 of 26. There's that man Cates again. Donnelly has to put the stop on him.
And Steve Tannehill has had his success tonight. He's having it rolling to the right side, getting away from the pressure of the blitz and the front four rush.
Chris Donnelly, the senior out of Germantown, Tennessee, is the man who was injured. Well, tomorrow's a very big day in baseball, and while we've got a couple of seconds in the National League West, it will be the Giants against the Dodgers, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Atlanta won today, San Francisco won today, so they are still tied for the lead in the NL West. So tune in tomorrow, and of course they'll let you know what had gone on with Atlanta in the afternoon, and also San Francisco and the Dodgers. That is the ball game. Here's our score, 17-6. 5:22 left in the ball game.
Miles Aldridge's defense has kept number 2 in check tonight.
Tannehill's pass deep, tipped, and it's going to be picked off. Sam Shade with his second interception of the night. Well, Mike, you know, it looked as though Marcus Robinson could have caught the football, and then it goes right into the hands of Shade. Let's look again. Boy,
right on the money. You can't throw it any better. Just tipped Marcus Robinson, number 88. Sam Shade was behind him, waited for the deflection and the interception, and 2 turnovers for South Carolina tonight.
Terrence Lynch, the fullback, with the carry.
You're a young quarterback. Sometimes you make mistakes, but that was not his mistake, Ron. Ball should have been caught. And that's why you can get conservative if you're the Alabama offense, because you have that defense.
One tackle out to the 42. He'll have the first down. Let's go down and check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Well, Ron, we've all been watching Alabama have great success on the field tonight, but some potential problems for the Crimson Tide off the field. For some college football fans that may not realize it, Gene Jelks, who attended Alabama from 85 to 89 when Ray Perkins and Bill Curry were the head coaches, has alleged that former staff members from the football program had given him benefits including cash, clothing, and an automobile. Now, the NCAA has sent a letter to the University of Alabama dated September 22nd, informing them of a preliminary inquiry into the operation of the football program. This is not an official investigation. Now, after 6 months, they will decide whether there is sufficient information to require a hearing. Spoke with AD Cody Ingram earlier today. He declined my invitation to come on tonight and discuss the situation, but he has indicated, as is he did in the letter of response to the NCAA enforcement staff, that Alabama will cooperate in every way with this situation.
Ron, it's almost like when in Louisville this year they dug that president up, Millard Fillmore, to see if he was poisoned. That's how long ago it was. I don't know if they found out if he was poisoned, what they're going to do about it.
4 minutes and 11 seconds left in this ball game. Next week, we are at Baton Rouge, and it will be Florida against the LSU Tigers. Anxious to see Steve Spurrier's ball club in person. As we mentioned earlier, they had to come from behind against Mississippi State today. Garrett Lynch will take the ball straight ahead. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, and that's about it.
South Carolina now is down to 1 timeout left.
Schill will take it with him. 4:01 left of the ball game. It is all Crimson Tide.
Just northwest of Kalispell, Montana, there's a place where you can punch cattle instead of a time clock and discover what horsepower is really about. It's the Hargrave Cattle and Guest Ranch, where you can ride them and rope them like they used to. But if you go, you got to pull your own weight and pull out your Visa card. Because at Hargrave, they don't take the tin horns and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Today, a woman needs a life insurance plan of her own.
State Farm sells life insurance from an agent who's there for you today and there tomorrow, too. You see, we start you out right with a plan specifically designed for a woman's needs. One that protects the people who count on you for so very much. And a State Farm agent will be there tomorrow, too, as your life changes, to keep that plan working for the people you love.
State Farm sells life insurance.
Morning. Okay, hold on.
Delta Faucet has over 1,000 different styles of faucets to choose from.
Wait, just a sec.
So there's a Delta Faucet that's right for everyone's needs.
Oh, okay, I'll get the food, you get the water.
Delta, the way water is brought to life.
And don't forget to turn it off.
Well, some of the crowd heading for the exits, but this is not a crowd that leaves real early. In fact, a lot of places in the SEC are that way. They enjoy their football and they stay to the very end. 17-6. There's very little in doubt with this one. Almost a full moon here in Columbia. Alabama, the number 2 ranked team in the nation. Is Chris Anderson going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage and knocked down?
Anderson on the carry.
Now 3rd and long.
Again, you wonder why they're so conservative. It's because they have the great defense to play off of. They don't think South Carolina can score again on their defense, so they're just trying to run the clock, play very safe football, not turn it over, kick the football, and give it over to their defense.
Well, the remaining schedules for these 2 teams, first of all for Alabama.
Ron, I think the tough ones for them, of course, the big battle with Tennessee, that's going to be interesting. At Mississippi, and of course, very tough one at the end when you go to Auburn. South Carolina gets East Carolina, then they go to Mississippi State. Close, tough round. Look at that. At Tennessee, Florida, and Clemson.
Yep.
Kenny Hatfield with a big win today over Clemson.
His ball club, I got to see a little bit of that. His club was very impressive at times.
I think Sparky Woods has to feel good about the effort of his football team tonight. They have really given him an effort.
Miles Aldridge defense, as you mentioned a couple of times, has done really well. Mike, also, I want to mention, normally, a gentleman by the name of Bill Warndell is here in the booth with us. He's been our spotter for 5 years. Billy's not here tonight because of the death of his father 2 nights ago up in Philadelphia. And Billy, we just send along a message from the entire crew, our condolences, and we're thinking about you. We look forward to seeing you in the very near future. Draw play, and Lynch, boy, the big fella can ramble. He gets down to the 43-yard line.
Well, they wanted to make him look like it was going to be a pass, and a little draw, and Terrence Lynch, you're right, 224 pounds.
I think he's a little more than 224, don't you think?
Looks a little heavier than that.
Maybe a couple of cheeseburgers since that weight went in the book.
It's like one of those railroad cars that they have sitting in the back of the end zone here loose.
Those cockabooses is what those are. Yeah. The only thing that didn't go right with that play is the fact that he ran out of bounds and stopped the clock. 3:46 remaining.
The clock will run. South Carolina's out of timeouts with 3:39.
3 minutes left to play in this one. Running play in second down, and there's not much there for Lynch. Barker, you know, has never started a collegiate game that he hasn't won. He's now 22-0 after tonight, but yet he doesn't get a lot of publicity.
It really doesn't bug me that much. I'm winning games. I've won a national championship. A lot of those guys, you know, can't say that, and that's something that I have that nobody can take that away from me. You know, I think I'm getting better and better. You know, those guys have played quarterback longer than I have, and I feel like I'm still getting. You know, I tell everybody I learn something new on the field, and when I'm playing in a game every week.
What a joy if you're a coach to have a young man with that kind of attitude and that kind of talent also.
And he was referring to Heath Schuler and Eric Zayers, the other quarterbacks.
Chris Anderson. Good quick steps, and he's going to get knocked out. Nope, he'll stay inbounds. Clock will continue to run as Norman Green came up to put the hit on him, and also Frank Adams.
The Alabama crowd will leave happy. They've been all over this place, this town. Walked in the restaurant last night, and the first thing you yell is "Roll Tide."
Yeah, the 200 or so who were in here last night watching the workout, they stood and cheered and did Roll Tide roll. And Mike and I commented that it's kind of hard to get 200 people to watch someone come sit in the room and watch somebody sweat, but that's about all they do on a walkthrough on Friday. But they don't want to miss anything with this football team. They are true fans to the very end. Terrence Turner has come to the ball game. He's the carrier, freshman out of Fort Payne. This is what I'm talking about. They're rolling in town yesterday, literally, and these signs, we found out that they have spent, there are 3 of these around the city, spent like $30,000. Roll Tide. Now look at all the vans that are out there in the parking lot. And then the practice last night, and you can see all the people in the stands, all in their attire.
I bet Mike McGee purchases those billboards. That won't happen again here, let me tell you.
And of course, Mike McGee, he's referred to as the athletic director here at South Carolina. But that's just the kind of fans that they have. They go everywhere they can with their team. Turner again. Well, tonight's Visa Player of the Game from Alabama, Jeremy Nunley, number 73, and you saw him in the backfield a lot tonight. From South Carolina, Tony Watkins, number 24, the big hitter for the Gamecocks. And as part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes. Good look at Jeremy right there. You saw his numbers were 3 and 1, but what he forced, Mike, the numbers are much greater as far as just his presence being there.
You're right, Ron. He just controlled the line of scrimmage tonight.
And you got to look at Tony Watkins there. He had a big night. A couple of hits in particular.
And that should do it.
They will not have to run another play. The applause starts. They're still undefeated. The number 2 team in the nation, the Alabama Crimson Tide. And that's it from Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. But the final score, Alabama 17, South Carolina 6. For Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Ron Franklin saying good night, everybody. The college football scoreboard is coming up next.
Remember to wear your seatbelt. It's the law.